session to order.
Meeting's right outside.
Meeting's outside.
This is what I put together. This is from last year. And I want to go over this
Okay, great.
with Leanne.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
that kind of, this was before you were on.
Okay,
We came up with this.
all right.
That's, I put those together.
Very cool.
Answers.
You doing all right? I've been enjoying this weather,
I wanted to make
Yeah.
except for the pollen.
I also know.
Yeah.
Could hardly open my eyes this morning.
Yeah, it's bad. I normally don't get it real bad, but it's pretty bad.
George?
All right. So, good evening to everybody. I have got the water fund, sewer fund, and IEDA fund ready for review in this nice format here. But before we go there, I need to bring something up and make you all aware of something and ask for your blessing to do something. We have a little bit of a situation right now with our public works department with their vehicles. We have vehicles that are red tagged, meaning we are not able to operate them right now. At least two of the vehicles, the repairs would cost more than the vehicles were. One of the vehicles, which is a small dump truck, needs a wiring harness and we cannot find it. We've called Ford, we've called all the auto places, we can't find it.
What's wrong with it?
So we've got a wiring harness that's wrong with the small dump truck. Framework, it needs a bed on one of the other trucks. Another truck is the frame and it's coming up for inspection in June. It will not pass inspection.
Oh, the frame?
The frame.
Oh, yeah.
So we
Are these small dump trucks?
one of them is a small dump
I thought
truck.
I was seeing a newer small dump truck.
We did buy a newer small dump truck because we had to get rid of the old big dump truck. So what I would like to ask of you all is, would you all be open to allowing us to use either some of the LGIP General Fund Reserve, which has a balance of $1.2 million, or would you allow us to use some of the, what's called the sports complex? That is the revenue recovery funds, and there's $1.6 million. I would like to request $200,000. That will purchase, is it 4 trucks?
4 trucks.
And our bucket truck right now is in Roanoke, red tagged, because there's something wrong with the bucket, and it's going to cost between $20,000 to $30,000 to fix it.
No. I think we need to look at this from a different angle.
Okay,
I don't think we spend $200,000 on a Ford truck.
all right.
Where'd you get that number? Quotes.
Quote.
Trucks.
So $200,000 is 4 trucks
Plus fixing the
plus the
bucket truck.
fixing.
Are these new ones or used ones?
A 2025 with 16,000 miles, 2023 with 27,000, a 2022 with 33, 2024 with 21.
See, if you're gonna do that, I used to be in the business, and I'll just tell you I was good. I just didn't like the lifestyle. I mean, you know, you live, if you're gonna do that, you have to buy new. You take all the rebates and you find 25s that are on the lot. You know, I'd be more open to that than buying used trucks at their price.
Okay.
Because then if you buy new, you get a new warranty.
I do agree, I like the warranty.
And they know that they're for town use.
I agree with the new ones. With the used ones, they triple on the sale. It's got 110,000 miles on it. They'll sell it for 35,000.
What's the difference?
So,
I'd go with the new ones.
something else that I would like to let you all know is, Stan and the police department have been taking they have taught me a lot with enterprise and fleet
Will
management.
has taught you a lot. with
Will,
enterprise.
I will give credit to Will.
Yes,
Will knows the stuff in and out. So I had spoke with their representative from Enterprise and asked, do you do any type of public works fleet management? And they do. So this is something that we had talked about, was he here last week or week before?
Week before I go in.
And so we had talked about, is that something we would want to explore with our public works? However, I don't know that that's something I can put into motion that fast. So I'm bringing you all this issue, I'm bringing suggestions, but I'm asking opinion.
So,
And
Somebody come in, what do you think, 60, 70? New truck, rebates?
well, the dump truck's gonna cost you as most a smaller dump truck, where the other vehicle's like 250, 3/4 ton vehicle.
yeah, two
Regular.
of them were 250s. One of them was a Ford Explorer, the one with the the frame's rusted in it won't pass.
So are these just like regular cab vehicles in the cab or what?
They need new trucks, but I think they're running drivers behind it.
Two of them are the extended. You talk about the ones we have now.
Well, no,
Or these?
what's your?
Okay. These,
How old is
a regular single cab,
There's something there.
a quad cab, single cab.
So you're replacing an Explorer with a truck?
Yes.
That was last one.
What do they got, like?
It was an old
250
police department Explorer.
The 250 regular cab,
That's what he
how many
owns.
tons of product?
He lived, Western State.
Okay, this one's a Silverado, 2500.
Right.
A 2025, 16,000 miles, 41,900.
No. I'm pretty sure I can buy that new for 50.
Okay. So do we like the idea of new with warranty better than used?
I think so.
Now, if you're gonna spend the money, why not?
How long do we usually keep a vehicle?
The small dump truck's a 2005.
I don't know.
Excellent. Yes,
I'll give you an example. A buddy of mine, the guy that owns KO Truck Parts, well, they got way too much money. They had a 24 model, high country diesel, 4-door loaded, but the mirrors didn't fold in when you cut it off. It had 20,000 miles. A guy came from Missouri and wrote him a check for 55. This is a loaded truck, you know. So I just feel like, I'm just saying, I mean, I know we need it, but I think you look at new and get the new warranty. And I think, you know, I know some people, you know, we wanted that cost or a couple hundred of it cost.
Yeah, would Rainey work with us?
I'm sure they would be glad to get the business.
Do you know anybody that works at Rain? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I know some.
I mean, John needs to sharpen his pencil
Okay.
and just tell him,
I have not talked to him.
right, well, maybe make a call.
Tell
We're
him
still
they
gonna
can put Rainey Loves Tazewell on the side of it.
Yes.
We're still gonna have to vote to free up the funds to do this, because we gotta get,
How many public works vehicles do we have operational right now?
I mean,
can tell you we're down.
It's insufficient, right?
We're down our bucket truck, we're down unit 3, we're down unit 4, we're down unit 22, we're down unit 32. Unit 32 just needs door. We're good, we can fix that. Bucket truck's 20 to 30 grand.
But that would be good.
That would be included in the ask.
Before Donnie left, that bucket truck was in my,
in 2024 is when we didn't take the Christmas lights down till after Valentine's Day. And it was because it was in Roanoke.
Was it the same issue?
I don't know. I don't
I mean,
remember what it was.
is there no warranty on their work?
Not that.
No, there's no warranty.
It's my
It's an old
understanding
truck.
it wasn't the same issue.
There's something actually wrong with the
The
bucket.
bucket. Mhm.
There's a hole.
There is a hole in their bucket.
Sorry, that's my problem.
We'll fix it.
So,
I don't, if you go new, I like pulling, I don't like touching the emergency fund. Makes sense to pull that out of the sports complex money. If you're, I mean, if you're going new, you want to allocate up to 3. What else? If you allocate up to 3, the other thing I'd like to see, like these shouldn't be pop quizzes. Just like we talked about maintenance last go around, it's like, do we have a fleet replacement plan?
and that's what I was talking to Enterprise about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great, like always, like, get whatever the next one is, because, you know, stuff happens, but like,
Exactly.
yeah, within 2 years, we need to do this.
Yes.
And do that.
We need a plan.
They will let you have a plan year by year.
They will. And if we don't get something in line now, we're gonna be back right here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, without ARPA
Yes.
funds.
So that's why I started to explore the fleet management program through Enterprise. It's called the White Fleet, is the Public Works.
Okay. That'd be interesting to see.
Well, I will definitely get something on
Yeah.
that for future planning.
Awesome.
Who drives the trucks, baby? We got somebody that checks them, that.
The drivers,
Makes work on the trucks at the end of the week.
the drivers are responsible for pre-trip. So they're supposed to, check everything with their vehicle before they drive it. We have 2 mechanics now. We did hire a second mechanic finally. We were able to fill that position. So we've got the staff. Now we just need workable vehicles.
So let me ask, and I guess it wouldn't be an appropriate time to do it because then you can phase it in. But if we get 4 new vehicles and fix this other one, we wouldn't need a fleet program for a little while, right?
I mean, I say started like this time next year.
Right,
Like a
but I
year.
guess we would just phase it in as,
How many vehicles total are there?
I guess that's what I'm saying, like, are we
You're basically-
replacing like 50% of the fleet? Like how much?
Do you have that list with you?
The vehicle list? I can get it for you. Give me 1 second.
We only got 3 or 4 vehicles, right?
Just a couple. You just emailed that to me.
That's what I was gonna do. I'm just gonna pull the email.
Sorry, I couldn't find that.
You know, let's gotta listen first. I just gotta listen for a while. I mentioned this last night.
Do you remember if there were any, like,
Oh, the budget.
before I went up there,
Or the budget meeting.
I had like 4 months ago, so I didn't get a ton
We
of
were
time.
here for a while.
But, like, fee plans, do they have government plans like they have for the employees? Where you would get like $500 every employee?
Well, I've been out of it too long, Zach. I mean, I quit in 92. I sold it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, 93. I sold it in late 92.
I believe my quick math is 22 vehicles in Public Works.
Okay, so we're getting a chunk of them.
Yes.
So,
But
yeah,
there's,
it would be good.
there's programs because they get all that hold back money.
Okay.
If we could find some 25s just sitting on the lot. then-
So we would have to vote on this in regular session anyway, right?
I would think yes. I would need a vote to allocate X amount of dollars from the revenue recovery. Or technically it is labeled LGIP Sports Complex, but it's our revenue recovery fund.
We can just put that under miscellaneous if that's what.
Is that something you all feel comfortable doing tonight?
You have to make a
If
move.
they need the trucks, they need them.
And because this
Yeah, time to get
is
it.
something that is kind of a dire need, it falls under emergency, we don't have to do procurement. Although, we will absolutely, we've got a ton of quotes here, and I will reach out to other contacts.
Yeah, let me know.
So miscellaneous,
You know, if those dealers have 25 models that they need to get rid of, that's what we like to buy, because they still have full warranty.
And then I can reach out to some of our ex-contacts as well on the government side.
that would be wonderful.
I don't know if it'd be any better, but.
Okay, that would be great. All right, so miscellaneous, we will add allocate funds for vehicle replacement. We're good with that.
I cannot find that email to save my life.
I got it.
Cool.
Okay. Now, let's do some water, sewer, and IEDA. So at our last budget meeting, we discussed our rates. The rates for the 2026, 2027 water fund is for 2,000 gallons. In town is $30.97. Over 2,000 gallons is $12.15. Out of town rates is $45.41, and overage is $18.76. And something that, the reason that I keep this in here every year is so we can see where our rates have come from. So if you look at the top up here, our 2020 and 2021 rate was $28.75. And right now we're at $30.97. So that's, it's not a huge increase over the last 6 years, but it shows you where we were and where we've come. So although it is an increase, it's not drastic over that period of time. But this is the last year that we do have set rate increases planned. This time next year, we will have to do a complete redo, look at our rates. Do we need to revisit what our rates are? Are we able to leave them where they are? And maybe that's the case. I know nobody likes to raise rates, but the reason that we did this was to prepare for our Route 460 project for our debt service payments. So for 2026, 27, it's estimated that we're going to bring in $1.5 million. And that was done by taking our lowest consumption of the year times the rates that we have got in place for the 26, 27, and we were able to still generate that amount of funds based on the lowest month consumption. Whoops, sorry. The town revenue PSA meters, this is because, sorry, I was trying to scoot it up just a little, but I can't get it all there. All right, so the water plant is located on Thorn Street in town. Water plant's owned by the PSA. Every drop of water that comes out of that plant, the town of Tazewell has to buy. It comes through our distribution system, and then we'll sell it back to the PSA. It goes to places like Crab Orchard Road, Baptist Valley, Whitten Mill. And so what we do is we have master meters that are set up where we can track how much water goes back into the county. And then we bill the county for that amount with a 12.5% transmission fee on that as well. Our water taps. So at the last meeting, we had discussed and decided that we would want to raise our taps. So with that raise comes a little bit of raise in this budget. Reconnect fees. So if you get your water turned off because you haven't paid your bill, you can either pay your whole entire bill in full and no reconnect fee, or you can pay your past due and a reconnect of $30. Route 460 water line replacement project. You'll see this as revenue because we will begin our debt service payment. It's scheduled to begin March of ~27. It's going to be $30,000 with a little bit of change. PSA will pay 50% of that. So that's where that revenue comes from. True up for water. Every year, because the water plant is owned by the county, the sewer plant is owned 60% by the town of Tazewell, 40% by the PSA, we do what's called a true up. We have a rate set by our auditors that we have to charge the PSA for their water. And they have a rate set by the auditors. Same for us, they charge us. Every year we look at that and we do things like operation and maintenance, salaries, and we look to see, did we really bill the correct rate? Or did we bill too much? Did we bill too little? And we do what's called a true up, and that's where that money comes from. And there's also one of those for sewer as well. Miscellaneous revenue, return checks, miscellaneous fees that are charged to customers, and penalty meter sales is if you did not pay your water bill on time, you have penalty to pay on top of your now late water bill. For salaries, I have worked last year we were able to do a 2.5% raise for employees, and I have worked that same type of calculation into the upcoming budget, 2.5%. If any of you have questions, I'll be glad to stop and answer any. And this will change a little bit because we have health insurance rates have gone up. It is 7%. So this health insurance rate was estimated at the time, but health insurance will be going up just a little bit, so I'll have to adjust that number. And then we haven't got to it yet, but our property liability insurance, we won't have those rates till probably April. So this may look just a little bit different, but I've got some wiggle room where I can change around just a little bit to make amends for that. If any
I
of
was
you,
just wondering about, have you heard anything about PSA selling out to another company?
American Water. So American Water,
Is that going to hurt us any at all?
if they sell out, I mean, there is potential for some changes. I have been told that the votes were not there to support it.
Good.
Now, could that change? It could change. But at the time that I was told that, I was told they did not have the votes to support it. But again, it could change. And my understanding that I have heard, this is hearsay, if they were to go through with the sale, I think that they were talking about locking in the rates for such amount of time. But something like that could very much change, like the rates that we would pay for that water, the rates that we would have to then in turn charge our customers to buy that water. It could look very different for us.
What if we, way out left field now, what if we buy the water plant back?
Buy the water plant back from
From
PSA.
PSA.
I don't have a clue what kind of dollar amount we would be looking at. We, at once upon a time, we did own the water plant, is my understanding.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know why it was sold.
My understanding is chemicals,
Okay.
but I think, I'd check in and see if you can buy the water plant back, and that way we have full control of our water plant.
Okay. Again, I don't have a clue what that would look like.
I'm just, kind of, that's what I heard, and since that the PSA's thinking about doing this,
Right.
it's scary.
It is.
PSA.
So going on down the list, I mean, this is kind of your pretty basic stuff for your departments. You have your health insurance, life insurance, retirement, travel, training, telephone, supplies. So if you all have any questions, please feel free to stop me and ask. So the next section is water purchases from PSA. Again, this is where we buy the water from PSA now. I do expect the rate to go up, so I did increase this quite a bit. And you've seen that in the revenue, we had true up revenue. Here's true up expense because the PSA and the town will have to exchange checks. And the difference should come to around 55,000 is what I've got estimated.
Got a quick question,
Yes.
moving up just a little bit. The bank service charges, we instituted the service fee for credit cards. Are we seeing that?
It's worked out really well, and we've about pegged it pretty close.
Okay.
So,
And that's, I'm assuming that's reflected here as well. Okay.
I think that the staff up front kind of get hit every now and then with a customer who doesn't like the charge. But they're also reminded that, you have other ways to pay. If you don't want to do this, you could, come in, pay, drop it in the Dropbox, sign up for ACH. So they do try to also let them know that there are other methods that they can pay.
I have done a comparison recently, first on like the difference of what we've done. We used to expense around 55,000. We're expensing around 25,000 now, so it's much better.
That's great.
Any other questions through this section? All right. So this section here starts our water distribution. This is your crew that will work on meters, read the meters, replace the lines, fix the leaks. We have, again, kind of the same type of expenses: salary, overtime, health insurance, retirement. Now, I do have in this line item right there, there's $100,000, which I think in their budget currently that we're in was 110. We've got to replace the pumps in the pump stations. We were going to try to do those a little at a time because they do cost quite a bit. There is a 50% of a truck in this fund, 50% of a truck in sewer fund. That way we can place the service truck for the water and sewer department. That truck would then be rolling into the street department, and that would replace one of the trucks that may need to come off the road later on. There's also some meter replacement funds in here. We have had trouble with our meters not wanting to read for various reasons, such as like the last month we had that really cold spell where it got down to like -17 degrees, and some of our meters have now froze and will not work. So we have to replace those meters. So I've got down here for 50 of those meters, and that'll be about $25,000.
So this truck, I'm sorry, I might have missed this.
Yes.
This is outside, this was already in prior to the ask previous.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's actually a truck that was bought this budget year, just like this. It was split water fund, sewer fund, 50-50.
Gotcha.
Okay. So the next is our miscellaneous water fund. This is usually like your insurance, your loans. We've got water reserve. There is a little bit in here for reserve. Transfer to water LGIP. So this is what we have been doing when we raise our water rates. We will take that income that we had bought that's additional, and we put it into an LGIP account to prepare for our debt service payments for the Route 460 project. And actually, now that we have gotten into everything, I may be able to shift a little bit because it's only going to be $30,000 each payment. So that'll be $60,000 total. So actually $15,000 of this could go up in the water reserve instead of transfer to LGIP. Or we can leave it like it is and prepare for debt payment, and we can maybe even pay it off a little sooner. The next section is air vehicle and heavy equipment maintenance. This section is broke out. There's part of it in the general fund, there's part of it in the sewer fund and the water fund. So this is split 3 ways right here. So don't think that we're just paying somebody $5,455. Like it's broke up into different funds. And that is your water fund, $2,118,034.37. And you will see this very last line says revenue minus expenditures is 0. So that is the balanced budget. Does anybody have any questions?
Essentially like the water fund's emergency fund. Where's that currently saying? Is it about 250,000?
Did you put it in the packet, Jess?
Should have been, yeah.
I was just thinking another way to skin the vehicle. If you're doing this rotation of vehicles from water to public works, if we do have reserves there, that's another place. I'm not saying it's the place, but it's another place where you can dip in, buy 2 trucks here, and spread it out across your funds rather than just taking from one sports complex fund.
Okay, so we do have an LGIP one, it's the 460 account, $142,000. That is for debt service payment to 460. We also have a water reserve of $103,000. I mean, if you all would like to explore that option to split vehicles like that, that's completely possible.
That's an emergency fund.
It's a reserve, like if we had something come up and needed like lines or something.
One reason for maybe considering that is that this is a enterprise fund, so you could, I mean, maybe it's a little bit squirrely to think of it this way, but basically you can utilize rates here. The other side, if you're working from the general fund, you're working property tax rates or increasing those taxes in the other areas. But if you're, it's basically an imaging thing on where you would want the visibility for your vehicles to come from, if that's something that you want to consider. I don't know, what do you think? Is that probably a bad tactic?
If you split it and you took a vehicle out of the 103, I'm just going to pull a number and say 50.
Yeah.
Okay, that leaves you 53,000 left in that fund, and then you don't have to pull as much from your general.
Yeah.
So we're drawing interest, good interest on that.
We are drawing interest on all of this, yes?
Yeah. It's which color of money do you want to pull from, basically?
If you all want,
On that one, I would just yield to your discretion on what you think would work best.
okay. Treasurer, what do you think?
It would give you different options.
So, I mean, I do know that if we pull from here, it's not generating as much interest as the other account.
Yeah.
So if you don't take as much out of the other account, you would still gain a little bit more interest. Glenn, would you like me to catch you up to speed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have an issue with our public works fleet right now, where we have vehicles that are red tagged. We are down 5 vehicles that either need repaired or replaced. One we can for sure replace, repair. We can fix the doors. Our bucket truck right now is sitting in Roanoke, red tag. It failed inspection for the bucket. It's going to cost $20,000 to $30,000 to fix that. And what I have asked council to do is to consider letting us have some of the, either the general fund reserve, which was like $1.2 million, or the one that's called LGIP Sports Complex, which is their rescue funds, and take some of that to allocate to vehicles. So I had spent some time today, have several of us looking for vehicles, and these are used vehicles with newer year, lower mileage. However, the consensus was if we're going to spend it, let's do it right and get something with a warranty. So I will be asking for your all's support. In the miscellaneous section, we're going to add a vote to allocate some funds to fix vehicles and get some vehicles that are dependable.
Do we have any money in the FY '26 budget? Or we won't have to touch? Well, this is March.
Okay. So there is a line item. And I want to say it's, look, one second.
Even one vehicle.
In our interest line item, in our current budget, there's $68,000. I only budgeted for 5 because you never know what the interest rate's going to do, but it's a good way to hide a little bit of money in case you get to something where you need. So yeah, we could absolutely take some of that that's in the budget right now, it's not allocated, and get a vehicle.
What was the title of that account?
Sorry.
What's the title was?
It's interest.
Interest.
It's,
It's gonna be in revenue.
yeah, it's 001-010-3510, if you're looking at your account number.
That's not more we can spend in this budget cycle. We're not in a hole starting the FY '27.
So would you all like to do it out of interest? We could get one out of that. And I mean, it's March, so it is going to still continue to increase.
Is that a carryover?
No.
No.
No. That's what's accrued this year?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the?
And you've not amended it out so far.
No, right?
No.
But out of that, did we not promise some to go to Wagner Park?
That's all you're paid, right?
Yes.
25?
It came out of the donation,
Yeah.
economic development line item. So, no, right now, that has not been expensed out anywhere.
Billy Martin thing?
I'm sorry, the interest. We have already wrote the check and that money has been spent. Okay. So are we good to move to sewer fund? We still want to stick?
No, I just, like, on your side, if you want to, it's like however you want to utilize your accounts, I think that's totally within your lane. But I'm going to lean in favor of whatever it takes to get the fleet restored.
Okay.
We did a little bit out of here, a little bit out of there. I mean,
We could do one out of interest, we could do one out of water reserve, and then pull the other from the revenue recovery funds.
Okay, let me ask this, because I don't want to hit it at some point. That interest account,
Yes.
say we budgeted $5,000 revenue, we get $70,000 total for the year. We don't have, through budget amendments, we create, where does the reserve go if it's unspent?
Okay, so if we have carryover, it goes into, minute, there's a word. Fund balance, general fund balance,
Fund balance.
yes. And it's,
We
will,
automatically assign it to one of the LGIPs.
No.
Well, I guess the thought process is like, what we're trying to do is like figure out, like if we're pulling money from here, here, and here, what we really need to do is establish work vehicle budget.
and
Yeah.
so there is some of that in here already for your upcoming budget.
Okay.
There is some.
So this is like a stopgap kind of thing. Okay. Because that makes, because when you're trying to like, it's like, well, we need to, but if it's a stopgap, then it really, if this is a one-time thing, it doesn't, we're not setting precedent here.
And the crazy thing I learned in the last 2 weeks is the truck I drove is still in use.
Was it unit?
Or,
You did a good job. Amy.
Yeah, it's not now.
no, I just couldn't imagine it made it this long.
It needs a wire and harness and we can't find it.
Oh, it is a 2000. and-
5.
Yeah,
Yes, it
They
is.
made them good.
Yes, it is.
so whatever we gotta do to get the fleet up to date.
You can't find a new one to use.
The wire and harness?
Yeah.
And we've called Ford, we've called the auto places, we've looked online.
Danny, this truck is from '05.
I don't care if it's a 2000, if the only thing wrong with it is a wiring harness, you go through all avenues to find a wiring harness. You don't
We've even tried
jump
junk
the truck
yards.
just because of a wiring harness. If you have a flat tire, you can jump the vehicle, or you can go buy a tire.
That's not my point on this truck.
That's mine.
This
We've
is,
even tried junk yards.
this is a dump
Yeah.
truck.
There's a junkyard in Roanoke, I guarantee you that. But you can still use that truck for a backup. You don't just
Well, I mean, you could use it for a backup, but it don't need to be the primary, and it's the primary.
say nothing about it being primary. I'm just saying you don't junk it.
But we also didn't touch DRMO yet, so we haven't set it up faster yet. Demolition, destruction, selling,
Okay.
DRMO. He knows.
Okay. Do you have any other discussion on fleet?
Sometimes I gotta get,
If not, I'll move to sewer fund. Good. All right, so sewer fund is very similar to water fund. We already have our rates that were voted on several years prior. This is the last year that we have set rates that have already been voted on. Again, I have left the rates from previous years to show where we were and where we came. As you can see, these rates have increased more than your water rates. But over a 4-year period of time, it looks like we've come up about $3.30 for your in-town rates. But again, what I did to get this figure right here, I took the lowest month of consumption for the last year and times it by the rate versus consumption, and we're set to bring in $1,598,087 for sewer metered sales. We do have some customers that are on the water but not the sewer. So those people get a flat rate bill. That's what that is. Tap fees, again, have went up a little bit. So I told you all in water that we have the master meters. You will see that here broken down. Baptist Valley, Adria, Whitten Mill. Those are all master meters that we have, and we will bill the PSA for the usage that goes through there. Sewer true up, again, I kind of explained what the water true up is. Sewer true up is the same exact thing, it's just sewer versus water. Something new that we started in 2025 was our sewer jet use. We had customers that would have sewer issues that we would tell them they need to get it fixed and they would not. and staff would have to repeatedly go out and take a sewer jet to clear out the blockage. Leachate, so we do treat leachate that comes from the trash. Well, thank you. That was the word I was looking for, I just couldn't get it. So we do treat the leachate. It is 1 cent per gallon. That is established in a contract that was done several years ago. I do think that we are the lowest treatment plant for that penny a gallon.
leachate now, is it, I think I brought that up back then in reference to, they have 3 or 4 leachates that's coming through. And we got the good, we got bad, and we got bad, you got the worst.
Right.
And if it messes up our lines, we have the right to pull it out. Is that still?
I know that they're in the contract where it established that penny per gallon. I know that there's a daily limit that we're able to take. We're not allowed to take over a certain limit because if we do, it changes air capacity and we become like it's a commercial, is that the word, commercial sewer treatment plant. So there is a limit on how much we can take. And what happens is if we take too much of this leachate, it kills our enzymes. So maybe that's what you were talking about, the bad. It kills our enzymes in the plant.
Yeah, I know, it's bad stuff. That's what I'm worried about when somebody buys that place or buys it.
So we have sewer disposal fees. So if you have a septic tank and you get your septic tank pumped and that company goes to our sewer plant to empty the truck, we charge them for that. That is 15 cents per gallon. Sewer penalty, if you don't pay your bill, you get charged a late fee. The wastewater treatment plant design upgrade. The town owns 60% of the plant, PSA owns 40% of the plant, and that is PSA's portion of our wastewater treatment plant loan that we currently have. So that is your sewer revenues. So sewer administration expenses, wastewater administration expenses. You have your basics, salary, overtime, FICA, health insurance, retirement, workers' comp, travel training, telephone. Office supplies, postage, audits, we didn't charge anything for audit, excuse me. Software support, internet fees, bank fees, miscellaneous equipment. Your next section is your wastewater plant. So you have your staff, the employee expenses. So we're going to have an update on this project a little bit later, but we are in I wouldn't call it the middle, but we're in the still semi-early stages of this wastewater treatment plant upgrade. So a lot of your equipment down there is being upgraded. They're beginning to, you can kind of start seeing some differences down there if you've drove past. So one thing currently that's a big ticket down there is your electricity. So $170,000 is what I'm having to base off of right now. However, the company that is doing the upgrade does think that we will have a reduction in our electricity costs. But I don't know what that looks like yet, so I have to still budget it based on what I know. I don't know until we get there to see what kind of a reduction that it might be. But they do think that we will see a reduction in our electricity cost. So here's where we're talking about our chemicals, our enzymes. A couple years ago, everything was lumped together for our chemicals and our lab processing fees. Jessica and I decided to split that out. That way it was a little bit easier to track and see. So we have monthly required testing that we have to do for DEQ, and they have to receive those tests, so we do have quite a bit of lab processing that we have to do. Some of that is we're able to do in-house, and some of it we have to send to a lab. So here is the first loan that we have for our wastewater treatment plant. It's been in effect for a few years now. We will begin paying our second bond loan on this once completion of the project, and that is not anticipated. It's supposed to be an 18-month project. They are just a little bit behind, so I don't anticipate it being finished in the 18 months they were talking, but the funder, which is DEQ, is well aware of that, and they have a certain number of weather days that they're allowed, and so they're not out of that window yet. So your wastewater collection, this again is your the one who works with your meters, does your work orders, fixes your leaks, goes on the sewer calls, that type of thing.
I got a question, Leanne, if I may.
Go ahead.
For each one of these sections you're going through, every single one lists the life insurance and an amount and retirement, and town pays blah, blah, blah per month per employee.
Yes.
Is that redundant, or is that 610 under that, 610 under the one above it? So it's cumulative, or are those
Okay, so
just repetitive?
So we have like our office staff. So that's the administration department of it.
Okay, so that's for each department?
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
Okay.
So it is redundant, but not because there's employees under each of those. I got you. Yes.
Okay. Here you will see equipment, $30,000. This is 50% of the cost of a truck. This is where in the water fund we also discussed there was 50% of the cost of a truck.
It's a cheap truck. Ask me how I know.
Well, 30,000 plus another 30,000, so you're at 60.
Cheap truck. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Because I have a not cheap truck.
You don't need that truck.
So we do have some line construction maintenance, so we can address some of the sewer line issues, and it also has to rework some of the lift stations. Then you have our dry town sewer loan that was established several years ago. Next is our miscellaneous sewer fund expenses. So your general liability insurance, the transfer to LGIP for debt service payment. So this is in preparation. This is why we've been raising our sewer rates. This is in preparation for your debt payment for your wastewater treatment plant upgrade. So what we do is we take that revenue that was additionally generated by raising the rate and we put it in an account. That way we have prepared for the debt service payment. And I want to say, do we have about $700,000 in that now, $800,000 in that now?
So with the interest rate showing zero, you're min running the payment and letting this accrue interest? Or are you going to dump this over onto a 0% interest loan?
Okay, so the account that we have the money sitting in earns interest, we have is it a 0% interest loan on this wastewater treatment plan?
So we're doing minimal payments?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
You're already making debt service payments on it, the town is?
So what we're doing is the rates have been raised for the past several years.
Yeah, I'm tracking all that.
Okay.
Are we having to pay already on the water treatment plant upgrade?
So you don't pay until the project is complete,
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
but we've been setting this money aside.
Right, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, and here is, just like in the water fund, in the sewer fund, we have vehicle heavy equipment maintenance. So again, this is split out with general fund, water fund, sewer fund. And your sewer fund is at $1,737,579. And you'll see that very bottom number there says 0. So it is also a balanced budget. Do you have any questions on sewer fund?
So the project's going well down there? I drove past it.
I was going to ask, has anybody
Yeah.
drove past?
It looks like a lot of activities going on.
There is. So they're building a Navy bridge to get their equipment across the bridge because they did not think the weight of the bridge, the limit of the bridge we have now, would carry their equipment. So that's been a big thing. So if you all have not driven on Pisky Road, drive down there and see what's going on. All right. So any other questions, sewer related? Okay,
I have one.
go ahead.
So we have houses in town that, are still on wells.
Yes.
How many houses in town that have just sewer
Just sewer?
and no water?
I don't know an exact number, but I do know there are more water-only accounts than sewer-only accounts.
There's less than 10, I'm pretty sure.
Less than 10.
Sewer only.
Sewer only.
So would that be out, out beside of Windswept toward Mystery Lane,
Riverview Drive. yeah.
And so what that is, they are on PSA water, but town sewer. So we get readings from PSA every month from their water meter as to what to build them for their sewer.
And they all pay on time?
I would think, we have an agreement with PSA. If they're behind on their sewer bill, we can contact PSA and PSA will shut their water off. So we do have that in our plan.
So this, where's, they're just right there at the,
Yeah.
just right there out from the sewer.
So again, those houses in
Is
town.
that the area you're talking about, like right there at the sewer plant?
No, this is out by the YMCA, like right outside of Grattan. It's right outside the limits.
Oh, okay.
Houses down on the end.
Okay.
There's a couple of
Yeah.
I want to say there's Riverview Lane and Riverview Drive.
Right.
One of them is down by the sewer plant.
Okay, that's what we're seeing.
Any other?
I still say in town, if you have houses in the center of town, those people are paying county taxes. We should at some point send them sewer.
I don't disagree.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I'm assuming, have they asked for it, do they want it?
Yes, I do.
I knew what Danny was getting at. It's at Linda Lane.
It's Linda Lane and it's Hurst Street. There's no reason that should not be in town sewer.
Hurst Street?
Hurst Street. You have two.
She's not on it?
Do what?
She's not hooked up? or
She
anything?
who?
Or you?
Well, you got 1, 2, you've got 3 houses back there that is not there. And I mean, you're looking at minimal cost to get it done and then you have that forever.
But paying town taxes?
Yes.
For 30 years since I've owned the property.
It's your property,
Um,
your property, right?
I'm thinking of my neighbors, David.
You're thinking.
Do you want to,
It was his property.
do you want to go ahead and prepay your tap fee before they go up?
I'll let you check it. Well,
He's thinking about his constituents.
it's just, it's a easy.
Is it a tie-in issue or is it an access? Like there's no
There's no sewer
There's
line
no
there.
line.
there's no line there.
So it would be like we would have to extend the sewer line to,
The easiest way is be for Glenn to let us go in through his yard. And you wanna tie in those houses, I could have it done in a day. And then if you charge the tap fees, go to 1,800, and how much is the new tap fee?
Oh, that's.
I'm sorry.
1,800, or for the updated one?
The updated
Straight top two.
1,800?
And see, if Glenn doesn't let us go through his yard, we just pull eminent domain.
Out east is.
Go anyway.
There's an empty house beside me, but it's gonna fit.
They got too many trees. Let us go through there, we'll pave the driveway.
And then
But yeah, I really do hear.
No,
what you're
I've
saying.
looked at it several times, and the easiest way would be to go down through one of the yards.
Damn.
Maybe not.
What is that, I mean, and then I know you mentioned
Yeah.
sewer access.
And then my other one is on Steele's Lane. I mean, there's no reason, because we extended sewer out to Simmons Company. You know, and my house sits right down on Linda Lane, and they're all nice houses, but, you
Not
know,
hooked up, right?
several of them are not.
Not hooked up.
Linda Lane's on the right, correct?
Mhm. So it's just something to think about when we have.
Do you think that's got, I think I'm asking for the comprehensive planning, like an element building that in to the, next 5-year project? Like, are we gonna add, if we don't add it now, it's like that's a way to get it listed on the 5-year plan.
Yeah, I mean, it needs done, and I mean, if it's not that many, I just think we owe it to the citizens, I mean.
So in one of the presentations that I had done for you all, that was in there, to extend sewer to residents that did not have sewer currently.
Town's cost.
It would be pennies, really.
That'd be the town's cost.
It would,
But the,
I mean, we would run the line and the customer would have to tap to it.
yeah, and then there would be a tap fee involved, right?
Yes.
So we raised the fee, yes.
All private people.
I think we need to
pay.
double that fee, actually.
Good grandfather, I think we should double that
Done, triple it.
from what we thought we were going
What are you trying to get?
So what's, so no game plan for this budget here?
I mean, we have,
You had like $25,000 in the contingency rainy day fund.
we have $50,000 for line construction maintenance.
How much do you think that would?
See, this is where the transfer,
More.
like this would be a good LGIP from like general fund
That wouldn't be
transfer
shown
over
there.
to fund this. I still don't know how we can't get around that.
Interfund transfers are very frowned upon
There's
from
a house.
our auditors and our
There's a house in
BRA
between where Daniels lives.
funders.
It's like if you do it
Get
one
rid of his
time.
house. No.
I know that we did it and I got wrote
I
up.
remember
Did you?
Yes, I did.
we had.
And BRA slapped us very hard.
So the only way to go out and do additional
Like
construction is
Danny's
like you're gonna
house.
raise fees for it.
Some type of fee, yeah.
And there's a vacant.
Because it's an enterprise fund. Or they'll just capital improvement plan, you slap $1.50.
An hour fee.
Hooking up, what's that street?
Do a hot dog
Goes
stand?
in behind. What's the
And I mean, that's something that we had talked about, infrastructure,
First.
repair
That's what it's talking
or replacement fee.
And then he's talking about on school.
The county's right now is $5.
It's already brought that up,
Yeah,
way back.
talking about this.
Oh, like an extra
So-
one?
Those are your two options basically for expanding services. Because right now we're break even, right?
Right.
Maybe we do a little bit, right, a little bit of budget slack. But those are your only two ways to, like, maybe it's a conversation for next year, you table it, but you're gonna have to raise fees in order to get that done.
You could do it for less than 15, you could do Hurst Street for less than 15,000. You're gonna have 3 houses up. Because it costs about 5,000 a house. So you're gonna pay for your workers. So you're gonna make 3 plus 3 is 24. You're gonna make $5,400 in tap fees if those 3 houses hook up at the $1,800 and some dollar rate.
Would you all want me to come back to you at another budget work session with what the cost would be for Linda Lane and Hurst Street?
Yes.
Well, let's do Hurst Street first because there's more houses. And then Linda Lane, I can wait.
Well, can we zoom out one step beyond that? Because I think it would be good to incorporate that element into the comprehensive plan, but like, to get the total number, and then just work backwards to see what you can do each year.
I mean,
Total.
we're still in, budget work sessions. We've got time.
Yeah.
So I will bring back some hard numbers.
I guess, I don't know if this is readily accessible, like, could we get a number of all the houses that don't have access to sewer?
We should be able to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking something like this.
No, get all of it, and then that way you can have a plan over the next several years, because you know that it's connected to rates, to have a systematic way of tackling it. Hey, Ms. Leanne, do we need to do anything, copper, EPA's copper lead lines, is that?
Yeah, that was also in the presentation that I showed them all. By November 1st, 2027, we have to have a replacement plan in place. So, we have got some lines in town that are going to have to be replaced. My understanding is like this is an EPA mandated thing.
Right.
And my understanding is also that there will be some funds available to help assist in replacing.
Okay.
But yes.
But we don't have those funds yet, so.
No. And you've got to remember too, this is nationwide,
Right.
so everybody's going to be fighting with dollars.
Is it homeowner's responsibility?
All we gotta do is all the way through distribution, right?
So right now, the homeowner is currently responsible for their meter, like at their meter to their home, anything in their home. We have to do a lead service line inventory and get what kind of lines you have in your home when you're around it. We have 10 that are unknown, and we have 42 that are galvanized required replacement.
Are we following?
Not sure yet. So they are going to have to be replaced. I don't know if that's going to be on the municipality or if it's going to be on the homeowner, and the homeowner would qualify for funding. I'm not sure.
So the homeowner goes from the meter to his house.
Yes.
Well, no, we thought, at one time, we thought we were gonna have to go all the way through, right?
Yes. And I'm not sure that we're not going to have to. But
That's crazy.
So you're saying there's only 42 houses in town, like galvanized or copper line?
Yeah.
galvanized required replacement, yes.
Better know.
And no,
There's 10, I mean, that's what, either we went and dug the line, or we went and sent a survey to the customer and they filled it out and sent it back in.
Lots of room for error there.
Speak of plastic.
All right, do you guys want to do IEDA real quick? It's very simple.
Yeah.
So IEDA, they don't really have much of a way to generate a budget at the current moment.
Better figure it out.
So we've got a miscellaneous revenue line item of $15,000. That may be for grants, that may be for something along that line. We do have an agreement for the Barnes Trail property that we will reimburse the property taxes for that. And so you've got the same exact opposite in your expenses. So that's your whole IEDA budget.
Question.
IEDA owns the Winter Pavilion, right?
Yes.
That property.
Yes.
But rentals of that property will come through town.
Well, we could move it to this. I did put it under shelter rentals, but we could move it here.
I mean, I feel like the process is shelter rental, but I don't
What?
think.
will have to agree.
They'll have to agree to accept money.
In terms of have to be designated. If you were talking about the town doing the others. Just have.
Hey.
Who has to do maintenance?
Got your pictures, drop boxes.
Who has to clean the bathroom? Yeah, but the town does maintenance.
I don't know how to get them back to you, but I should.
The town does maintenance though.
we kind of, but that's, I just asked just to see how that.
Either way you all would wanna do it, I can shift it here.
Yep, but the town's doing the upkeep, and the town's taking the calls for the rentals, and the town's
Electricity.
electricity. I mean, unless
Security
somebody from the
cameras.
IDA wants to go clean the bathrooms and stuff with the building.
Hey,
They get that $25.
Y'all better get your number over there.
So let's say you want to do phase 3, or phase 4, probably easier to work up. So maybe eventually.
just a little sooner. I guess my question, well, I first thought about it,
Yeah.
is something that we should approach the IDA about,
Yeah,
giving that property back to the town.
Yeah.
Needing it back to the
that
town.
probably would make more sense.
But Zach brought up the comment, or the fact that it's probably easier for the IEDA to get funding than us if they need to get phase 3 or phase.
Oh, to build more on the property. I would assume the rental fee is really an upkeep fee. Like, I don't think that's like a payoff. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah.
it's not really a revenue generator, it's, but I just.
That's a break even, really.
It kind of is.
Yeah, so I would, but again, that would be an IEDA, if they want to bring that up, that's fine.
So either way, you all would prefer to do it.
I'll just leave it at that.
I'm trying to remember how for IEDA's next meeting.
I can make sure it's on the agenda if you want me to.
So everybody else think-
Do y'all have any other questions?
Yeah, are we gonna paint them this year?
If you all tell me to, I'll clear the budget.
All right, so this is something I brought up a few years, but just in our code charter, I can't remember which section it's in. Basically, just like the planning commission, you have a team of volunteers that we have the ability and the power to pay. I can't remember what it is. It's like $75 a meeting, $25 a meeting. It's actually less, and I think probably, like, they're doing good work, and I don't want to minimize that. But in reading through the code recently, there are some responsibilities that the planning commission has that is probably why those, and the IEDA was set up newer, but probably why those rates are different. But I think that we have a team, a very strong team on the IEDA. I think that you create a little bit of an incentive and you retain, effort and compensate town folk for their hard work and effort and energy. I'd like to see it. We have the ability to do it. Where we carve it out of, that's another discussion.
I agree with you.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I have mixed feelings on it. Personally.
Well, you served on the IEDA.
So it's,
Right.
no, they were volunteer to do this. You volunteered for this too, but you could have signed.
If I may, that because we're appointed, because we're asked, and then if accepted, we're appointed. Like, I'm with Joe, I'm with the mayor on this one. If you guys wanted to do something for the chairperson and maybe the vice while they serve, but like just as a member, because the chair and the vice, the previous vice, it was all right, but they're doing a lot of legwork with emailing and coordinating and grants and stuff like that. We're there for moral support, so I would much rather see them get something if that's the route you're going to take.
Before you came on.
I will say that we have a very energetic and beneficial IEDA. And that is a committee that I have learned a lot through. And I really enjoy working with them. And we've got a really good group of people on that committee.
And I mean, I think it's great, and I feel like if we had, it's not even the money that's really the issue. to me, it's more like, it's for every meeting, right? It's not every month, like ours would be. So like, would that be every time the chairperson goes out to meet with anyone? Or would it have to be, they call it special call meetings?
Well, let's go back to the
Those
charter.
really, we've only had like one of those for our committee. Usually, and there's months where we don't meet.
Well,
So
we
how,
also had the special call joint meetings, which included the IEDA.
Right.
Anytime that they're asked, hey, it said, if I'm not mistaken, in the code, it says for every meeting.
so how's that set up for the planning commission?
I think it's $25. Trying to do a search. Let's go look and see what it says. Yeah. Well, we got time. I guess if we want to deliberate on it more, I guess my view on it is you would, at least the way we have it set up now, you would not, that's double negative, you would not pay the planning commission, right? This is another organization that we have that helps administrate our local government. We've got the ability to. It's never been done, but it's in our code. We got the ability to. They've been doing good work. A lot of the efforts that we have in North Tazewell have occurred because of their grit. And I think that that's something that should be compensated. Did you find it? We can re-attack it though if we
I'm
can.
at the IEDA section.
No,
It's 25, it's in the charter already.
it's already in here.
How much we have the ability to pay them.
Okay, so how much have the ability to pay, what could you?
Well, I'm just recommending what's in our,
So you couldn't match what the planning commission gets, 75, I mean?
We might have
Okay, here
to.
it is. The directors shall receive no salary but may be compensated such an amount per regular, special, or committee meeting or per each official representation as may be approved by the council for the town of Tazewell not to exceed $50 per meeting or official representation.
So it can be 50.
Yeah.
You said directors, so that would just be like chair or vice chair, is that what that means?
No, I believe it's all members, yeah.
I think that would.
think they are?
Well, Karen's fine, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm not saying they're not worth it. I just,
We can set the precedent.
You're looking at $4,200 figure.
for their monthly payments.
$50 one time a month, 7 inverse, 12 months, $4,200.
But I think they would need to be at the meeting to receive it. You know, I agree with that.
That's for all.
I mean, that's actually, you know, what, weather or hell.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Attendance is important.
Well, all right, well, I'm gonna, unless anybody shoots me down, I recommend that we add that to the IEDA budget, $50 a month, just in line with the town code. And if we need to vote on it, like, I'll put that in the motion.
I'll second.
So, well, I mean, we'll have to do that in
Yeah.
the regular meeting. What, does anything need to happen for us to do that? Because it says the directors shall receive salary but may be compensated for regular meeting, as may be approved by the council for the town of Tazewell. So like, we have to set, like we have the charter, do we have to do a guideline or do we just have to say, I can approve it? Approve it.
What's the planning commission again?
75.
75?
So I think the charter already gives you.
That's what's in there.
Do it.
So we just got to vote on how to manage.
We gotta change
Just have to
that.
enact it.
As long as we're within the, okay.
Yes.
So if you want,
We're not changing the code. We're not changing. Perfect.
Well,
Same price.
changing the guidelines for that.
So, the planning commission, it should be the same. If you want to do it that way, just do it the right way, same as the planning commission.
Well, we won't be able to change that until that next year, and we've already talked about not doing a code change for next year.
We'll give them, what's, $50, and move it up next year, change it. I think it should be changed for, the same as, who's on that commission? Planning commission.
Larry's the chair. Larry was chair.
It should be the same.
Okay. I'll add it here for a motion about ADA. Yeah, discuss that. All right.
Do you have any other questions for budget right now? All right, thank you all.
Thanks, until September. All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. If you would, we'll stand and pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand. Pastor Meg, could you give us
Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much that we can gather tonight, that we can exercise our freedoms. We thank you for those who serve, those who are going to speak. We ask that the meeting go smoothly and that it just go peacefully tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, next thing on our agenda is to start with special presentation requests. First up is the 4-H camp support request, Tammy Bishop Sparks.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. I've been at the fairgrounds with our shared fun semifinals tonight, and I'm just going to say that I'm very amazed at the turnout we had tonight. Parking lot is full, it's just semifinals. So we have a lot of talent there from all of our localities here in the county, as well as our kids here from the town, and I'm very grateful for that. Tonight I'd like to ask for some sponsorship for our 4-H camp, which houses about 210 kids during the summer. We camp the end of July, the 27th through 31st, and we try to take everybody that we can possible. And with finances, a lot of our families struggle to be able to reach that amount of money, to sacrifice that amount of money for the kids to go. And last year we were able to take 46 kids to camp on a scholarship. Some had different situations. Some were able to pay $50, some could not pay $50. We had some families that had multiple kids that wanted to go, and we helped them out as best we could. 4-H is just not about going to camp and playing around all day, but it teaches the kids a lot of life skills, a lot of team building. We've grown some great leaders as far as our teams go that's reflected on our youth. And it's a great way to invest in our future and for our local community. So if possible, we would like to ask for a sponsorship. Any amount is for us is good, but we will greatly use it whatever you give us. We just want to be able to open that door up for those kids to learn and grow. Some of those kids don't have the opportunity to go on vacation. That is their vacation. They look forward to going to 4-H camp. I grew up in 4-H pretty much all my entire life, but that was a part that I didn't have in my life. I didn't experience 4-H camp because I was a livestock person and I was on the other side of 4-H. But once I got there as an agent, I've been there 4 years this coming June. It has grown since I've come on board. It's an amazing experience. And I love hearing the stories afterwards. So if you can help us out, we greatly appreciate it.
How many kids do you have right now? How many kids got involved?
and 4-H.
Yes.
Last year, we had 1,887 kids across the county that is part of just Tazewell County 4-H, that's everybody included. We took almost 200, I think we had 197 kids at camp last year that were just from Tazewell and Tazewell County. So it's growing each year, and we hope to soon be able to camp by ourselves. We're camping with Peterson County right now, but we have a good number.
You have any talent children?
Yes. All of our kids that, I don't have the exact number because we're taking in restorations now, but we have about 40 or 50 kids that come from town.
From town?
Yes.
Our kids went last year, they had a great time.
And we're gonna miss them as team
Oh,
counselors,
yeah.
but Paige and Noah have been great teams for us.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. The kids, that's what I hear about, what you're talking about, 4-H, they're learning. And I wouldn't mind if you make a motion for 500.
Yeah, I was about to say 50s.
$500 give to you.
We greatly appreciate it. The kids will too.
I have to get a motion. I got a
Yeah,
motion.
I've got a motion.
Second.
We got a second. Any discussion?
So and this is not any reflection on 4-H camp. Administratively, budget-wise, I had sent a message earlier this week to the town council. Our line item for donation requests has been exceeded by $9,500. And of course, we want to support every organization that we can, especially when it involves kids and going to camp. And my 5th grade 4-H camp experience was, actually I was telling the boys about it last week. Want to do that, but I do think procedurally we need to have a budget amendment in order to actually have funds available within this line item to do the donation request.
Any other discussion? All right, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Yep.
Okay, motion carries.
Thanks so much, we appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. My daughter's actually out dancing right now. All right, next on the agenda is the 2026 THS Project Graduation Support Request. Destiny Moore. We have a request. Get back to my documents here.
Would you like me to read it?
Today,
Yes.
what was it last year?
So last year, Project Graduation, in lieu of a donation, they used Lincolnshire Park and Pool. And that was the contribution that we did to the Tazewell High School Project Graduation. In 2024, Town Council had done a donation of $700. So the application is from Destiny Horn, THS Project Graduation. There is a letter attached that says that their goal is to provide the graduates with one last safe and fun night for their classmates. To accomplish this goal, THS Project Graduation has been busy implementing various fundraiser efforts since early December. Our fundraising work includes various raffles, concessions, and a cash bingo, and a spaghetti dinner. So they have been trying to have other ways of fundraising to make this happen. They are still seeking some other funding donations and said that any donation that you would make to our senior class would be much appreciated. I have not heard from the class if they would like to use the park again for this event. So at this moment, I don't know.
It's not really my place. Just talking with the project graduation group, when I met with them, they're not planning to use Lincolnshire.
Okay.
That's my understanding anyway. Sorry to interrupt.
All right, open the floor.
I would like to have them present, so these questions can be answered.
Okay.
I'll second that motion. That's what he's making.
Well, we're just tabling. Right, is that, okay. Yeah, we'll just table this till next month. All right, next on the agenda is brain injury solution support request. Alexander Barge.
Alex. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. We are a nonprofit that provides free services to survivors of brain injury. Part of why I'm here is to ask for support, but part of it's also to get the word out about us so that folks know who we are and who we serve. Every 9 seconds in the U.S., someone experiences a brain injury. In Virginia, 1 in 30 people have a disability from a brain injury, so that's not just having a brain injury, that has a disability from a brain injury. While folks may receive good care in a hospital, often they find they're lost, don't really know what to do, where to start when they get home. It's even more true for folks who don't have a support system or have financial supports. Unfortunately, that's where Brain Injury Solution comes in, and that's actually why we were founded. We were founded by a mom who had a kid who had a brain injury. She, was distraught, challenged, whatnot. When she got home, she had no idea what to do and was quite upset about it. So she looked around and found a lot of case management to help people find resources and begin the journey to recovery, the long journey once you get home. And so she started us about 25 years ago and started us with the mission of helping children and adults improve the quality of their lives and help them reintegrate into community and family. I see they printed out the slides for y'all. When we talk about brain injury, we talk about 2 kinds. So there's a traumatic brain injury, so that's the typical one most folks think of. So a car accident, a fall, sports injury, but we also serve folks who have an acquired brain injury, so it could be also from a stroke or epilepsy or brain cancer. And we do serve all of Southwest Virginia. We serve about 55 localities, and we do reach out to all of the localities for support because we do find strength in numbers. So while we aren't asking for a lot, we ask from everyone that they're able to. Again, all of our programs are free. We have several main programs. We have case management, which I'll go a little more into in a moment. We have a buddy program called PALS, where we match up survivors with a friend, which we're always looking for volunteers for. We have an online support group, Community Living Connections, so that regardless of where folks live, they can be part of a support group. We even have a few Starlings available to help hook people up as needed. And then we also offer consumer support specialists, which helps with daily activities of living. So if people want to relearn how to do a budget, relearn how to bake, or relearn how to just do something normal, we can help them with that. In case management, we serve children and adults, and basically we have a social worker who meets with survivors and their families. We meet them in their homes, so they don't have to worry about traveling anywhere. We do put a lot of miles in our cars. And we meet with them, we help them identify goals for recovery, and then we help them meet those goals. For each person, it's completely different. For the fellow here in the picture, he wanted to live out on his own after his injury, and his case manager was able to find an accessible apartment, help him find some furnishing, and help actually pay for some of the furnishing so that he was able to be more independent and live on his own. For others, it could be helping find therapies, could be helping with building a ramp in and out of their house so they're able to get in. Others, behavior management, it really varies. For kids, we help with IEPs. Last year, 93% of goals set were met by case managers with their survivors. Just a few numbers, we served over 600 people last year. We had 137 online support group meetings, 46 in-person support group meetings. We had over 1,300 visits, in-person visits. We served 22 veterans. 93% of those surveyed that answered our surveys came back and said that they were satisfied or very satisfied with our service, so pretty content with that. I did have a video, but it's all right. There are a few quotes there on the second to last page, probably. and on. Yeah. Some people get annoyed if you get red ads. Yeah, and we appreciate anybody that's thoughtful and appreciative, or just letting me come here and speak is helpful to get the word out. Again, free services for people who have survived a brain injury.
Leanne, we've been doing this for several years now, in reference to the brain injury. Is that still evident?
So I don't see that in the past few years that we have contributed,
I
but
thought it did.
not in the last few years we have.
What was the last one, a year, 6 years?
I don't have that with me right now.
I know.
So in your letter, you're asking for 300, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
I'll make a motion for the 300.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Again, guys, in terms of properly managing our budget, you're out of alignment with our donation requests. So it's nothing against you. I'm very happy for your services and what you're doing to the community and the greater area. But in this one, again, we need a budget amendment in order to have the funds available to do donation requests.
And I understand. I made this motion several years ago. It was Miss Mount Richlands. She came up in reference to this, and I made a motion in reference to donate to the brain injury. And I thought we still had the books.
It may be, it's just not in the recent years. I do know in the past we have contributed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion with those? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Okay, so I had 2 nays, is that right?
You said
Okay.
3 ayes.
Okay. They had 3 ayes, Dan? I didn't hear yours. Okay, so 4 ayes. Just to be clear, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you need anything else?
Do we need?
Appreciate it. If we have anything,
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you, Susan.
All right, next on the agenda is Friends of Southwest Virginia Partnership Support Request. Manager Reed.
So each year we receive this request from the Friends of Southwest Virginia. The Friends of Southwest Virginia consists of the Crooked Road, Virginia Heritage Music Trail, the Round the Mountain Southwest Virginia's Artisan Network. They are requesting $1,500 in the 26-27 fiscal year. So this would not have to be released until after July 1st. They have broken down how their funds are allocated between those 3 organizations. They are the operating arm of the Southwest Virginia Cultural Heritage Foundation. They lead regional programming, development, and marketing while operating the Southwest Virginia Cultural Center and Marketplace. Southwest Virginia's creative economy is working increasingly, Southwest Virginia's creative economy work is increasingly viewed as a model across the Commonwealth and beyond. I can tell you that here in the few recent weeks that I have had multiple meetings with the Friends of Southwest Virginia. They are in support of several other projects that we have going on. And last year we did make the motion to support them with the $1,500. And again, this would not have to come out until after July 1st.
I'd be real happy if the Crooked Road had a concert or 2 set up at the Clinch River Pavilion.
Maybe we could work that in there.
Do we know what is the closest festival that they have to us with Crooked Road?
Is it Abington? I think it's in Abington.
Any Any other discussion on this? Anybody? Floor's open. All right, there's no
Why don't we build this into, since they're asking for next year and we're working on their budget currently,
Yeah.
why don't we just table it?
Table it,
For
that's
the
what I was
evening?
gonna ask.
And then build it into the design if we see fit then.
Okay, sounds like
Table it.
everybody's agreed to table it until at least next month. All right. Next on the agenda is Old Town Revival event requests and support requests. Manager Reedy.
We have, this is a two-part.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, before we get to this, guys, in accordance with Virginia Code 2.23115F, I am an employee of Back and Dragon, and as such, I have a personal conflict of interest, and therefore am recusing myself from discussion regarding the OTR event which is held at Back and Dragon, and will not participate in any vote or discussion regarding this event. I'm just gonna say.
So we have a event request and we have a support request. So it's Old Town Revival, OTR. They are also known as Foundation Moto. In years past, council has approved a donation of $10,000. And if it's okay, let's do the event first. Would that be okay with you all? We have an event request for Friday, June the 5th, from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, June the 6th, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And Sunday, June the 7th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. This again is held at Back the Dragon. I understand that they would like to shift the road closure just a tad. Instead of having it at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, they would like to bring it up to West Avenue and route traffic that way, so that shouldn't be a problem. But that is their intention, if you all would so approve the event. And the reason this is coming before you all, anything that has alcohol served at it must come from you all instead of me. So it does say on here, alcohol would be served by local stakeholders, Back in the Dragon and the Wayfarer.
All right, with the event discussion, floor's open.
Yeah, make a motion to approve the event.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Discussion, in recent years, we've had a few, course corrections on the event. Definitely wanted to confirm that we're not doing burnouts on main drag. Again,
They are very aware that
Okay.
we are not going to allow the burnouts on town streets.
okay. And then the second was the notification of business owners.
Yes.
A few years ago, we had some issues, folks not aware events are going on, trying to conduct business. That's the opposite of what we're trying to do. So are we doing letters again? What do you think our best course of action is to notify the business owners?
Okay, so we do a newsletter that everyone that has a water bill gets that. And we also have a phone alert system called Nixle. And every business, every homeowner that is on Main Street gets that phone call. And we've been trying to do it twice a week before that event is held.
So, really quick, I know I seconded the motion, but on Friday, could we have the road closure to where it normally was, and then it could be moved, because is that gonna affect the Commonwealth?
I don't think that would be a problem on Friday. I will verify and check. But I think it was more or less for Saturday
Yeah,
that they were asking.
Just, if people need to get to the Commonwealth's office.
Okay.
All right.
Would you like to add that into the motion?
Yes,
If
please.
there's,
So what am I amending the motion to?
Yeah, so I said we're
there?
gonna go back to amend.
So we said tell me this, West Avenue is where the street closure is proposed,
yes.
which is it's east of the Wayfair.
Yes.
And so Friday, it would still be back here.
So,
At Jeffersonville Street.
so Fridays on Jefferson, Saturdays on West Avenue. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh. Okay.
Right, Sunday also?
Sunday, they do a blessing of the bikes, and they usually leave out about noon time.
Is that
What about the fire department? Who's gonna interfere with the fire department down there?
We always make sure the fire department has ways in and out, yes.
so the motion as is has the street closure at West Avenue Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the amended motion would be to close it to Jeffersonville Street on Friday. And in regards to the Commonwealth's office. So part of the reason for the street closure there is that they're trying to gain traffic to the Wayfair. So that wasn't like, that was deliberate.
Would you all want to say after business hours, we could extend to West Avenue for Friday evening?
I almost would rather just see that, like, have all these parties logged, like Commonwealth's starting to know that it's going, prior to amending them. Basically, we're gonna, like, that request was in there for a reason. And it's because they're trying to tie in the Wayfair, is the only assessment I can make.
I'm not trying to affect the Wayfair. I mean, if we do it after business hours, that's fine. I just don't want to cut off the Commonwealth in case somebody needs to get there for a meeting.
For one Friday, what about your experience? Do you think that that's a necessary adjustment based on the operations of the Commonwealth's office?
They do have busy Friday afternoons.
Okay. All right,
But then it's like anything else, I mean, it's here and there.
yeah. All right, so we'll amend the motion to Jefferson Street for Friday, West Avenue for Saturday, Sunday, and if the deconfliction can occur, like, let's investigate that.
Yeah. Because you heard the Wayfair.
Yeah.
You know,
So
what
this
time
is,
are they closing the street? So it's 4 hours. It's 4 hours
So
on Friday.
basically, you could get this approved and out the door, and if they talk and they deconflict, and it's not an issue, we can adjust it
Yeah.
at the next meeting.
Yeah.
What about the chief of police? Stan, would you know where your cutoffs are?
I haven't been in that meeting, I don't.
All right.
Let's see what we can do, because I don't want to leave the Wayfair.
Okay, I'll reach out
It's a
to,
4-hour period.
I'll reach out to the Commonwealth and ask if they could have other arrangements for that 4 hours.
Yeah, we'll work together. I mean, if we have to move it from Jefferson Street at, say, 415 to West Street, that would be fine.
And when we can make that shift.
Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
no big deal. You can walk on
All right, how about that? Motion to approve the event, road closure details to be signed. Yeah, TBD. All right, does that work?
All right. So, to be determined, the road closures piece will be to be determined, based off conversations with the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. All right, so I've got a motion and a second, reopen discussion. Anybody have any discussion on that? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. And then we'll go to the support request now.
Okay, so in the years past, town council has allocated $10,000 to this event, and that is what they are asking for again in this request.
All right, we'll open the floor on the donation discussion.
Last year, I think Councilmember Klein said we were going to phase this out. I had trouble with it. I mean, they've been in business several years. It's a money-making business. You know, are we going to give Roscoe's $10,000 because he can't run his business? I just don't feel comfortable doing it.
So one of the things that I stated last year, correcting you just a little bit, is this area, our region, is one of the items that we're looking at to increase our tax revenue. And I did send out an Excel sheet demonstrated that data, is to increase tourism because through mills tax and trans-occupancy tax, actually, out of all the line items that we have in our revenue, those are the two items that we've seen a significant increase over the last 5 years. With back to the Dragon event, my recommendation was they'd already, before I got on council, it had already been approved for 1 year. And my recommendation was to do a 5-year experiment to invest $10,000 basically into the marketing of our area, direct marketing campaign through this event to attract visitors, have repeat visitors, and to really put on a good show. This is a free event for locals. There is no admission charge to it. And then, another thing that I did in looking at it, preparing for this meeting, was looking at our neighbors. So I looked at the town of Damascus. And one of their main events for the year that they have is Trail Day. So the Appalachian Trail runs through there. And just out of curiosity, in terms of perhaps apples to apples comparison on tourism and events in local governments, just for comparison, for Trail Days, which is where they gain a lot of their tax revenue as a small town of half the population that we are. This year in their proposed budget, they have $56,000 allocated for that event. And there are some rough numbers on what they draw from that. We've had data collected through Placer AI, collected through DHCD, and I was disappointed to see the Place in Maine kind of reuse that data. So our most recent data that we had on this event, and the progression of it through geofencing data, so collecting cell phone data from folks who visited, showed over 2023 to 2024, you had an additional 1,500 visitors that came to the area because of it. I do think, I'm still sticking with, well, one, we got to get our budget adjusted appropriately before we allocate funds. But I will still stick with my recommendation that you continue the 5-year experiment because we have seen demonstrated performance. We had that 1 year where we had 1,500 additional visitors. And over the last several years, the 2 areas where you're growing tax revenue are in mills taxes and trans-occupancy taxes. I see it as an event that raises everybody's tides and something that should be supported in the sense that we are trying to grow and support tourism in our area and our businesses in our whole town, because you just don't go to Main Street when you visit and you're staying somewhere overnight. So for that reason, I would support it again, but first we need to get our budget adjusted.
I don't think, would that be a conflict with other business places in this town? I mean, I've been having issues about that, regards to 10,000. I mean, it doesn't hurt me, but it's the other business places in this town. Why are you giving the 10,000? And we got a business here, we'd like to get some money too on that.
This donation is for the event.
So, but $10,000 for the event, you was talking about you gotta watch it, gotta watch the budget, stuff. I don't, like I'm saying, not bad about the issue, but it's just a conflict I'm looking at. I mean.
So I do appreciate the event. I appreciate the tourism. They work hard down there, they really do. And it shows. The problem I have is I've sat through budget meetings to where it's talked about we may in the future need to raise our water bill. I'm not for raising our water bill when we're giving out money.
Just to be clear, that's 2 separate funds.
I'm just throwing it out. So I appreciate them, but at this time, I would make a motion that we do not donate this year.
Okay. Are you making that motion right now?
Yes, I'm making that motion right now.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion?
Yeah, again, I think this would be an event we're supporting. I think that there are, well, really looking at the efforts of the businesses that have tried to invest in our area and develop a new line of revenue, which, you know, through increasing tourism. Outside of this attraction, how do you recruit folks to your town? And I'm talking in this case about the outside the box thinking that said, hey, look, we got this mountainous road. Folks like to ride motorcycles, and perhaps we can turn that into a tourist attraction. So you have folks who are investing their funds in this area that depend on events like this to gain business throughout the year. I don't think that, I understand what you're saying about being responsible in terms of the budget. However, I think that you can demonstrate that through the increase, this basically funds itself through the revenue that's generated through mills taxes and trans occupancy tax over time. Basically, you're utilizing those funds to put on the event to further increase your tourism. So I don't think the experiment's been studied enough. I know that we do have positive trending data, looking at our neighbors, where you have, just using Damascus as an example, investing $56,000 into one event because tourism works is something we're thinking about.
But is that a county event that they allocated $56,000?
That's their town.
That's their town?
Their town.
Population.
Because it's the trail, it's not one business.
No, and this is trails also, roads that are paved and going over the mountain.
Again, it's not one business.
Well, this event is not for one business. We've got a street closure. You got a street closure that goes.
A street closure that you were gonna leave out a lady that spent a fortune on the Wayfair, and you were gonna shut her street down and move it, and we couldn't move it, what?
Well, that was, you know.
A football field?
Create the conversation around it. You got one item approved and then you could come back and re-attack it. It was just getting business done at the moment. But, I don't know. I think there's data missing here.
And I would also mention that sponsoring the event is as much of a marketing, it's marketing our town, which I think has already been said, but it's also, there's a peak of revenue and tourism from the event weekend, but what about the repeat visitors that come from that they come for the event, they come back to see the rest of the town? And there's also going to be people that are like, hey, there's, that event's going to be crazy, I'm going to grab some food out here at the rest of town before I get there. And then that way I don't have to worry about getting food at the event. Then they come back and they stay at other places. And so my 2 cents on it, my 2 cents on it is, it is a very good event and it's a very good publicity for our town. And not only the event, as you can see in the packet, in their pictures, they're out on WBBA, they put out a ton of press for our town in many other facets.
I think it's a great event.
That's a good idea, with the press and stuff.
What are we spending
How many
time
years?
for our employees?
It started going down after Mr. Ramey passed on. Every year, you see it trickle down at the fairgrounds when they had the bikes down there. Hardly anybody was there. And then it's just, I like to see the outstanding issues from the first time to the last time, or last year. How many showed up, or how many was...
I mean, last year, to their advantage, it did rain them out. I mean, it rained last year, so they didn't get...
the year before that.
They had a decent crowd the year before.
Dave, on the data collection.
I mean, I'm all issue, but like I'm saying, I'm just looking at one thing, it's a conflict with the business places in this town. As far as other, I'm just,
Outside of Main Street Moments, what do you have that brings a bucket full of people and dumps them right in the center of your town?
do what now?
You got the Beer Fest. We've got basically 3 events a year that create a main draw to the town. I will say, if you strip the funding from this and approach it a different way, I would strongly encourage the council to look at implementing a strategic marketing campaign and funding that in lieu of. Because the access that you're getting and the views on Facebook, Instagram, all those things, those matter to making this place a destination that motorcyclists, that travelers want to come hang out in a cool small town. I would recommend that you create a marketing objective in lieu of it if you're not going to fund it.
Councilmember Willis had asked about the payroll expenses for the event. In 2023, OTR and Main Street Moments were combined, so we didn't have split events. Public Works was right about $4,500. Police Department was right about $4,200. In June 2024, Public Works was $13,583. Police Department was $7,147. June 2025, Public Works was $7,898. Police Department was $12,811.
So basically, we're spending $20,000 on overtime for a 3-day event.
The last 2 years we have.
So I would suggest before we say, take a vote motion to say no, which technically we don't have to do, we just don't do it. But we could amend that to see if they would take services in lieu of a donation. Expenses from our services in lieu of a donation.
So if they said no, would we not provide services?
Basically, you approve the event, so we're gonna support it.
I mean, we already said yes to the event, so that means we're gonna close it, it's just we're gonna have people there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to consider it a sponsor of the
So on their donation request form, it says type of request, circle 1, sponsorship, donation, other. Dave chose other. If they were to resubmit and say sponsorship, and I mean, I know that they would promote the town of Tazewell, just as they would anything else on here. I mean, is there a difference?
The wording doesn't change the motion.
Okay.
All right. I think we had significant discussion. Let's put it to a vote. So right now we have a motion and a second.
Can we reiterate what the motion is?
That I am. There's a motion and a second to not support the OTR event financially. Right, agreed?
Correct.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay.
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 Okay.
And I didn't hear yours.
Okay. All right, so the motion carries. We will not be supporting the OTR event financially. All right, next on the agenda is trees at Wingshire Park, Jess Beavers.
How are y'all?
All right.
Got a handout to hand to you.
Let's just take one and pass it down to the picture.
So, my name is Jess Beavers, and I live in Tazewell, going on 65 years. There's only a couple of y'all I know. So, but back a few years back, I started a project, and I'd like to kind of finish it. The packet. There's the first four. I'll tell you what's in the packet. The first four pictures are trees to identify, and on the back page is the answer to the trees. And part of my presentation is about identifying trees for a tree garden.
And so basically you quiz yourself just to see how much you already know about how to identify trees. I started this project probably thinking about it back in about 2018. And I walk a lot, and so I was walking out Lincolnshire Park, and I walked down to one side where if you're walking from the dam to the lake, it was in the summer and it was just blazing hot. And so my wife and I were talking, I said, they really need some shade trees here. So we said, the other side has some partial trade. I said, it'd be nice if, we could get some shade trees planted and some nice large deciduous trees. So I got to thinking, I said, I don't think the town would probably fund that, and I would think maybe getting donations would be a hard sell. So I got to thinking about it. So about a year later, my father passed away with cancer, and the company that provided the casket, we bought the casket from, sent me a letter, and that's one of the letters in that packet. And they planted a tree in the National Forest in memory of my father. So I started connecting the dots, mentally, and saying, well, that's a way for me to fund a project without being a burden on the town, if that makes sense. So lo and behold, I got to thinking about it. So my mom, a few years before that, was the president of the garden club. So I kind of cornered some of the ladies on the garden club and asked them if they would help me and if they were interested in it. And they said, well, we like your idea, but that's not what we do. We normally do flowers. So we normally do flowers. So I started thinking about it, and I said, well, maybe I'll tie it in with trying to provide shade and a memorial garden and an educational resource. So what I got to think about doing is planting different types of trees, deciduous trees, as you go down the lake. So the educational resource would be good because when I was in the Boy Scouts and when I was in college, one of the professors there, the biology professor, would give us extra credit if we go out with him on Friday afternoons to identify trees. So I always thought it was a neat project to go out with him to identify trees. So I kind of tied all of that together. So I got to thinking about it, so I approached Todd Day about it. And so Todd said, we'll come up with a plan for it. So I met with, I think Nancy Brooks was on the town council at the time, but it was Nancy Brooks and two members of the Forestry Service, which one of them was Greg Estall, myself, and I think somebody else from the town. So we proposed a plan. So I went to Todd and I was talking to him, and while we were discussing it and trying to figure out how to go about doing it, he did realize he'd already approved the garden club to go ahead and do it. So they kind of snuck it in on the backside on me, and they'd already approved it. So I came up with a plan, and so I came up with a plan to plant trees. And so one of the things the Forest Service told me to do was to make sure that you plant not just small trees like you go to Lowe's and pick up. You need to plant, substantial type trees. One, they'll provide shade quicker, and they'll be more likely to live, be more, sustain themselves. So I use a nursery in Bristol, and I don't know if y'all know Thomas Holland Nursery. And the guy down there probably knows more about trees and shrubbery than the guys in the Forestry Service. So I went down there and I talked to him, and he came up with two types of trees for me to start this project, start planting the project. And so what he came up with, the first two trees on that list is one's a red oak and one's a red maple. So Todd allowed me to plant the first two trees, and he accommodated me by letting one of the town employees use a backhoe and help me plant the trees. So basically, I got started. That was all done in 2023. Well, in the meantime, Todd is gone. So, instead of going through hoops and going through the town manager and all that type of stuff, I figured I'd just jump and come to the town council. So what I want to do is just pick up where I left off, planting the trees and provide the shade and the educational background. So I've kind of broke it down into four parts, and you all can approve any or all of it. So the first thing is I like to plant 2 more trees this spring, if y'all give me permission to do so. And I'm not doing it at any cost to the town. It's all out of my own pocket. These trees are are not cheap. They're about $250, $300 a piece. And the markers I bought, they're about $200 a piece too. So the last time I planted those two trees, I had over $1,000 in it, and I plan to spend at least that much this time. So the first part of this proposal is to allow me to plant 2 more trees. And I like to have it done by May, like say 1st of May, or at least by the June 15th. Another thing with the markers that I use, I didn't go about using just like, bronze or wood or anything like that. They're granite markers, they'll last forever. So, and I think that's important to do that. Second part of this proposal is to just allow me to continue doing this or coordinate with people to do it every 2 years. Either if I continue doing it, allow me to do it every 2 years thereafter, 2 trees every 2 years, or if I was lucky enough to make the project progress a little faster, if people would want to participate in planting a memorial garden, I could possibly do it every year. So I'd be willing to coordinate that and continue on planting the trees. The third part of this is to add this to the town's calendar and tie it in with Arbor Day, with Main Street Moments, the town's calendar, and hopefully get people like the 4-H and the Agriculture Department, Boy Scouts, and local groups, the Garden Club, Master Gardeners, all involved in it. And around Arbor Day each year, we plant trees. And then the fourth part to this, I cornered Mr. Klein the other day about presenting this, and he kind of already had a thought on it. He said that somebody had broached him about the dog park being hot, and I've been out there and it is hot. And so eventually we would progress it on to other parts of the town. One part I thought, my grandfather lived in North Tazewell. When I was growing up, I always thought that along the riverbank just looked ratty, but either it's been cleaned up a lot or my perception of it's greatly changed. So I would like to sometime plant cherry trees down along that bank the same way they do the tidal basin in DC. So Tazewell would have their own version of the tidal basin here in town. So that's my proposal for you all, and I broke it down so y'all could approve it or disapprove it in any certain section.
On the floor for discussion.
I make a motion, maybe go with this, beautify more Tazewell area and around town, Lincoln Sheriff Park and a dog park. I think that'd be a good idea to go with. And it's hot in here. It's 76, yeah. It's hot. But I agree with that. I'm making a motion for you can go ahead and do it.
Okay, we've got a motion.
Second.
I've got a second.
The
Discussion?
we've got restrictions on the dam.
I realize that I realize you can't touch the dam, you know what I'm saying? And the one picture there is one of the trees I originally planted. It would all have to be on the back side, back away from the dam, because if you get too close to the water, you have to worry about the ganging in. These trees are basically, and I regress a little bit, the Forestry Service said, they gave me basically an idea of how far to plant the trees back, and they said about 15 to 20 feet, because that would, eventually the canopy would cover the trail or whatever, and you need them to be at least that close to provide shade. Any further back, they won't provide shade. Any closer will be a detriment to the trail. So, and I realize you can't get that close to the dam. We need to stay, basically, there's some trees probably about a third of the way down. This would, if I continue doing it, would be from like the back two-thirds of it.
Leanne, I would assume this would get coordinated with Kenny about location, and I'm assuming we have equipment out there that we can.
We have equipment. We would have to watch with the dam and the spillway.
I won't be near that.
Back beyond that.
Yeah, it's in the back part of the back part. When we did it the first time, the guy that helped me was really good, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name, but these trees aren't small. Two people can lift these trees. They're not the trees you go to Lowe's and buy. They're bald and burlap trees. I would say they weigh between 200 and 500 pounds. They were loaded on, when I went and bought them, they were loaded on the trailer with a bobcat. And we rolled them off the trailer onto the backhoe. And they used the backhoe to dig the holes for them. The trees probably the balls are probably a half or third as big as that desk right there. They're not small. So it does take a little effort. But the guy that helped me, if he'd help again, I think he's still on the town. I think he's one of the,
Was it Richard?
he's a real tall, kind of sandy blonde haired guy.
That's Richard.
He's probably 30, in his 30s, 40 to 40.
Was it Dave?
I'd have to, I see him around all the time. I talk to him, I just don't know his name.
Okay.
So I've got a motion and a second. Any more discussion on it?
Just any other coordination efforts that you think?
And we'll make sure that it's not in any of the restricted areas.
With that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Thank you. You're welcome. Your efforts. All right. Next on the agenda, Jefferson Street sewer line issues. Tim and Jennifer Lowe.
This is moderately impromptu, so it's a little resolution presentation, but if you'll share the photos.
I don't want to be on the resolution.
Just see the picture. Okay, so the first time that we saw raw sewage in our yard, which was not our sewage, was the summer of 2023, as the first pictures depict. The result of that occurrence was nearly a 3-foot section of pipe being replaced in our yard. The next occurrence that was reported resulted in a 6-foot section of pipe being replaced. So we're now, ramping in of replacing pipes. Skip to June of 2024, 3/4 of our yard by the side of our driveway was dug up. Last summer we were told that the tree roots were the reason for the major problem of the sewage, again, not ours. The tree was removed, and in the process the driveway was destroyed. It was replaced, except not really in a timely manner. We were also told that as soon as the weather broke, grass would be resown, and while the grass was resown, it was thrown in the mud. There was no raking, no topsoil, thusly we still have bare places in our yard. Throughout the time that we've been having these problems of raw sewage, not ours, in our yard, we have been told people flush mop heads, baby wipes, cleaning rags, grease, and they can't be stopped. A non-viable solution also was to glue the lid to the clean-off down, which is not a solution. And they did do that one time, and the pipe burst prior to the clean-out. So that section had to be replaced. Larger circumference of pipes were supposed to be placed, so there would not be any more problems. Because they did last year dig all the way from the back to the main road. Smaller pipes were laid. I was told most recently, the last 2 pictures as you see, Saturday of this week, that there were pipes available that were larger, but that was above their pay grade. Innumerable times, the clean-out jet was brought to my house, so it's parked in the front yard, it's parked in my driveway. They flushed the line, never to any avail, yet to a larger mess. The messes were always covered with lime to help with sanitation, which I guess I was thankful. But we were told that someone would always be back to clean that mess up. Rarely did that happen, sometimes weeks later, maybe. Each time we restart this process, as you can see, from summer of 2023, I say, here we go again, and I'm always told, it's been happening a lot longer than you know. That's not a great answer. I call a number of times, sometimes I talk to no one, sometimes I have to keep calling. So now at this point, my yard's been dug up, my driveway has been dug up, the unsanitary and inhumane conditions that have been present for far too many times is once too many times, and we need a permanent solution.
So if you all wouldn't mind, I will say, yes, they have been in here, and yes, they have talked to us, and I sincerely apologize. Last year we did order, and we did discuss putting in an 8-inch line. When they dug and they found the root ball, their supervisor said, hey, that's the problem, it's fixed now. So no, they did not lay the 8-inch line. We do still have the 8-inch line. So I do have a couple of options. We could install what is called a grinder pump at the clean out. And what that would do is it would grind up any of the raw material and pump it up to the sewer line. So that should not cause any type of backup again. However, if there, like, I think this weekend, they showed me pictures, there was a shirt, there was mop heads and stuff in it.
It was, kind of a shirt, right? I don't know, there's pictures.
Your biggest issue is it's going up here.
Right, and that grinder pump, it would pump it up.
At what point?
We tried everything, or we have.
So it comes down Jefferson Street and it goes in their backyard. And then it comes to their driveway and it pumps up to the town line.
It pumps up.
Like
No,
well, I don't want to say it pumps up, it goes up to the town line.
Below the
So-
field, which is.
So it's elevation
Yes.
that's causing it.
you got a drop coming from the 3 houses behind us. to
The
a lower
entire
point,
backyard.
And then it goes up.
And I will say, they have called, they have talked to us, they're absolutely correct in what they're saying. So we could do the grinder pump, we could install the 8-inch line, we've already got it.
But if you install the 8-inch line, it's still gonna go up here.
You can't.
It will go uphill.
You got to pump.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
So would all of those things be like available to us, a pump and a larger line? Or?
We would probably need you guys to pay for the larger line and we pay for the pump.
That's not even my foot.
And that is correct, it's not their.
Our sewage drains to the other side of the house.
It's everybody behind us. It's not even ours.
Well, I think we need to help.
I absolutely agree.
I concur.
I think we need to do a bigger line in the pump just to try to alleviate the problem once and for all.
Because the last time, we heard the last time was not, that was five times ago.
4 years,
Right.
and it ain't fixed yet.
Andy
So-
has to pump.
First time I've heard this.
Put pump it behind this area.
Okay, so grinder pump, larger lines.
What's your time frame for that?
We have to, we got the line, we got the materials, because that's what we were supposed to do.
Right.
We'll have to order the grinder pump.
Okay.
They said they could have it installed, weather permitting, within 2 weeks. Now, I have to order the pump.
Okay.
Would you be okay with
But
this?
are we sure that the lines we put in and the root ball we found was the only issue?
They ran the camera, I understand.
I'm by no means an expert, but one of the issues you have is you're doing one section of pipe at a time.
Right.
You dig 6 foot, you put one section of pipe. You dig 6 foot, you put one section of pipe. There's no way you've got a level grade on that going down here. It's going uphill, that's what your problem is going to get.
One of the pictures over there, that was supposed to have been the leveling point because they dug really, really deep as the.
But as that comes out, you can see it comes straight down to a hole and then it has to go up. From the house behind us, it has to go up. There's no way you can convince me that it's ever level or on a downhill grade.
The bigger
It's
pipe
impossible.
will force the entire replace, correct?
I mean, the bigger pipe, what it's doing on the pump up here,
Gravity's still.
you're just gonna have 8 inches of poop instead
But it
of.
don't have the pump.
But it don't have a
No,
pump.
I'm saying,
To pump,
gravity,
the pump.
against gravity, you gotta pump.
What's the
It's flat fine, but it's gonna feel.
percentage of working, like how sure are we on
Lines are tied on
that?
this job.
It's not us.
It's 3 houses
There's 3
behind
houses
us.
behind us.
It's not even our sewage.
And also,
Not
there,
that
It goes up
it's
our
not gross, but it's not even adequate.
there has been a letter sent to the folks that are on the sewer line to say, hey, please do not be flushing items that don't need to be flushed. And you all will be getting a copy of that letter as well. But yes, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I mean, I teach middle schoolers, like, when you run in the hallway,
So how much line is being replaced?
My understanding, they got it to replace from the road to the clean out, I think.
You've only replaced the line from the cutout in my backyard. There's a cutout or a clean out that has the 3 houses behind us. And supposedly the other house is on the side of Jefferson Street. I don't know.
not you, y'all think you're in that on?
She's not.
Yeah, they're on their own.
But
The other side of the
I don't know
road.
how many people are tied into that line. But you're coming downhill, but you've only replaced from the cutout to the road over a period of 3 years.
Another solution that I was given was
Replace it on the
if the funds were available, the 3 houses that are draining into our backyard would be tied to a new line from the top of Jefferson Street to Fincastle. This sounds probably more
I don't know if there's a
cost
problem with
efficient.
one of those houses that are tied in before it hits my yard. Those have never been touched.
Riverside Drive down at, right there on McCall's curb, I remember they had a pump station put in there to pump the, whatever, the sewage across the road. And that took care of it. But I think the line needs to be just a little bit bigger and a good pump, because you got sewage coming from several houses. And that's not good. We gotta get that.
I mean, I have video, every time somebody turns the faucet on or flushes the toilet, it just keeps flowing, and clearly that's not sanitary.
So with replacing from the clean out to the road and putting a pump, how does that affect from the clean out to the home?
I really think that we have hold harmless agreements signed from the property owners on behind the clean out from last year when we were gonna do this.
But I mean, would that line not need to be 8-inch line too?
That's what I'm saying,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So you're gonna redo theirs as well?
Smaller to a bigger line.
I wanna say that we have hold harmless agreements from the neighbors on up the street.
And then we have grass mix. And then that we have fringes.
Well, there's,
I mean, I can speak on their behalf.
but if you only fix one house and there's 3 houses draining, then their house is gonna back up and Joe's gonna be there saying, okay, because he.
But, I mean, I would assume that the problem would be at the base. You can go smaller to bigger because it's all gonna flow.
I mean, I think we need somebody that actually knows what they're doing to look at it, an engineer of some sort to get this.
You don't need an engineer, it's basic.
I mean, it's basic, but it ain't fixed.
Well,
Would it be better to reroute that?
So I asked the same question.
Just to get out of their yard?
This is been 4 years road in my yard has been dug up in some way or fashion.
And they're not wrong on that either. So I asked the same question, can we not just get the line out of their yard? So then we're gonna require people to replumb.
You're gonna have to tie your existing sewer line in another location.
Yes, so they're gonna have to replumb their
And
sewer
it's
lines.
extensive, very expensive. And they still not solve the problem. Depends on how low the town line is.
if we're gonna really out the 8-inch line, let's get the pump,
So
get all the parts.
just to kind of circle back around, this is more of a maintenance issue than it is like town council, like I think we'll do whatever budget we need to do, budget amendment we need to do, but I think as a whole, we're saying, we are empowering you to do whatever you need to do to make sure this is right.
Okay.
If I'm hearing everybody up here correct,
So
it's
we've
an
already
maintenance on your
got,
part.
we've already got the 8-inch line, we will get a pump, a grinder pump.
I'd do it right now, as soon as you act this over tomorrow. Get it
But it was a
started.
problem that none of you were aware of. You know,
No.
that's the thing, and she really has been helpful to us. But also, you know, here we are. It was a problem you inherited, quite honestly.
I understand their frustration.
Right, no,
I would be
and I'm
upset too.
I guess what all I'm saying is that we will do whatever we have to do budget-wise to do whatever she needs to do to get your problem fixed.
That'd be great.
You have our support
Go with the 8-inch and wait.
in that, and we'll make sure it
So the
happens.
pump and the 8-inch line.
Yes.
If, by any chance, that doesn't fix the problem.
If you go down.
Where did that lead? I mean, you know, I'd love to say it does, but here we are.
What if we had, let's all get together and we'll ask all these questions.
Okay, sure.
All right, call me, I'll call you, set up a meeting, whatever's best for you. Is that good?
What about engineering services needed?
We're gonna do whatever it takes to get it fixed.
Do whatever you gotta do to get it
I mean,
fixed.
I don't know what kind of,
I wouldn't stay there.
Miss Leanne can just bring it, like, if this doesn't get solved, I'm sure you'll be in contact as you have then bring it back and let's, you know. Item number 2.
My issue, if it's in my yard, I'd be ready to veto a cane. I I mean, we've gotta get that fixed.
You wouldn't imagine, of course, living on the main drag in town, people stopping by or calling, texting, oh, I see you've got sewer in your yard. Yes, yes, we have sewer in our yard.
It needs to be done as soon as possible.
Sorry,
Absolutely. And we have to get an engineer in there to look at it. We have to do it. I mean, that's
I
disgusting.
mean, this is what it looks like today.
I understand. We're sorry. We're very sorry, but we hope.
Let me ask you this, like when it rains a lot, do you have bigger issues? No?
No, not really. I don't know. There's no specific time. It's been March to whatever. And I know you can't stop people from flushing whatever. I don't know.
I don't know what that day was. We got back down and I found it Saturday morning.
I'd like to know the number of times the jet truck has been out there. I mean, that's a new one. So it's, clearly it's ongoing, but anyway, yes, we will get together, that's.
We are committed and you have our full support and getting it done right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have a local business recognition. And we'd like to, I guess, honor J&R Gold. I'd like to have you guys come up. J&R Gold was opened in 1984. They've been in business in Tazewell for 42 years. 42 years. And please introduce yourselves and tell us about your business.
My name is Joseph Kalo. I'm the owner of J&R Gold currently. My father started the company in 1984. I can remember sitting around the table at the house choosing a name for the business license for the town of Tazewell that night. This is my best friend, Mike Abel. Mike and I have been buddies since I was 4 and he was 5. He works with me at the store and has now for what, 15 years? Yeah, the shop's been a great blessing. It's been a great blessing to us. We hope we've been a great blessing to the community. We love being here. We love working here. It's our home. And hopefully our business functions as part of the community in making that a better place. So, praise God.
We definitely appreciate you, and I know you guys are big supporters of the community. I see you support and sponsor all kinds of events around town. You guys are always out and active in the community, and we appreciate you guys. And I've got a couple gifts for you.
I'm glad you opened the door.
Leanne's up.
Get a little warm here, Brad.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes for the council meeting on February 10th, 2026. And a special call meeting on February 23rd, 2026. I'll open the floor to entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Second. Got a motion and a second to approve the minutes of both meetings. Any discussion?
Yeah. I wouldn't do.
All right. With that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. Minutes are approved. Next is approval of financial statements and financial report for February 2026. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. Next, we have committee and conference updates. Planning Commission Committee, Officer Hurd, official Hurd.
Hi, no officer. We had a meeting March 2nd, which was last Monday. The developer came to the meeting with a proposal of a indoor storage building, climate control building, and didn't have enough votes to send it out to y'all.
Is there a reason why they reviewed the plans, it wasn't in line with like what we were aiming at development wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you had any more contact with the individual?
Yeah, that night and one time this, beginning of this week, I think. He's gonna go ahead and proceed with the other storage buildings, which is the regular storage buildings, and then also the restaurant at the same time.
So this is my issue. So that was our second meeting, and it didn't occur to me then. But without calling any names, the gentleman to the right of me does not hear well.
Yeah.
And he was not at that first meeting.
No.
And we had two that were not there that night. You know, I see both sides of it. I see what Mr. Lutz is saying. I understood what Benny Moore was saying with the opening of the new clinic, that maybe something else would come to that lot that would provide more revenue for the town. But I didn't agree with shutting him down. I mean, he's looking at spending $700,000-800,000 on a very, very nice facility. And yet, if it doesn't make it, it's not on us. Our tax base still goes up. It just bothers me that the individual said to me, he didn't understand. And I didn't realize he didn't understand until the meeting was over.
Is there a
How
reason?
can you not hear Mr. Murphy, not Mr. Murphy, Mr. Chan? Did you not hear Mr. Chan?
He doesn't hear well.
I mean,
And he expressed to me, I can't hear at the end of the meeting. I had no idea. And again, he was not at the first
Chain
meeting.
chopper, sorry, chopper.
He didn't even really realize what was going on, and I didn't give that to him. But I mean, it is what it is, but I felt that, you know, maybe we should have brought him on board because he had missed several meetings.
I think, personally, he'll be back later. Might have to revisit it again, I don't know.
Appreciate that. All right, we got, next on the agenda is Tazewell today, Emily Combs Davis. Thank you, Mr. Brett.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Okay, so wanted to give an update on a few things. So we had our Pull or Plunge fundraiser on February 28th. Thank you all for the use of the park and for helping us assist with all that and having EMS there, everything. So as part of that, we were able to raise $3,144. Actually just got a check in Friday that I did not have when I posted it on Facebook. So that equals to $1,572, which is split between Tazewell Today and the Billy Wagner Park project. We had about 26 jumpers. Actually, it was exactly 26 jumpers. Our youngest jumper was 5. Aviana Klein, she is a rock star. That totaled into like 12 teams and solo jumpers. So all in all, it was a good event. It was a beautiful day. It was in the 60s. The water, however, was still
44.
44
degrees.
So how was it?
It was cold.
Nice and refreshing?
And I think Aviana did a better job than I did at jumping in and getting out without like fussing.
You set the tone by on Friday.
So I thought it was a really good event. Now, we've just got to replicate it again next year, right, Mayor?
With the same weather.
Same weather would be awesome, yes. So this past weekend, this past Sunday, we had bingo, which we partnered with the THS Project Grad, put on the bingo. We had 128 players there, and we were able to raise over $4,000 towards Project Grad.
Wow.
They were rock stars in getting donations for the cash prizes for the bingo. They had donations for that, and they also had a gift card raffle that where all the gift cards were donated. So they did great on that.
event coming up. Our next one is Easter. So the Easter egg hunt is going to be on March 28th at 10 a.m. at Lincolnshire Park. And Adair Behavioral Services has been kind enough that they are going to do a sensory-friendly portion of it. So the tennis court's going to be a sensory-friendly event. So I think that's really great. So also what we had this past month on February 26th, we had a presentation from Joe Jorgensen with Place in Maine. I think Zach was there for it. So he presented the redevelopment strategy for Tazewell. We ended up doing that presentation live on Facebook. I have not looked to see how many people actually viewed it. But that not the presentation, but the documentation for that will be posted on our website. Right now, we're in the middle of working on a new website, so that should be up and running hopefully this month. It is a company that the chamber is actually using it right now as part of the new website. There is a calendar integration that all of our local businesses, anybody that we say can use it, I can give a login to the town. And the way I understand it is there's a calendar function that everybody will be able to post their own events on the calendar, and it will appear on anywhere where that calendar is. Like right now, when I go in and look at my draft website, all of the chamber events pop up because it's already linked. And as I understand, you do not have to use that company, but the calendar can be embedded into someone else's website. So we're really excited about that because I think one of the problems that we experience is there's so many different places that you get information. So this will hopefully be able to provide people with the same information wherever they're trying to get it. So right now we have the SMART grant. I'm still waiting on the final deliverable for that. I'm hopeful I will get it within the next couple of weeks, and then we will schedule that presentation for that as well. So our committee meetings that we have coming up, we have our design committee on Monday the 16th at noon. That is in Town Hall. We have our economic vitality meeting on Tuesday the 17th at 4:30, again in Town Hall. And we have our board of directors meeting. We will have our annual meeting where we get new board members coming on, old board members going off, electing our officers, appointing committee chairs, all of that fun stuff. That is going to happen at 6 p.m. on the 19th, and then immediately after that, we will have our regular board meeting. We also have a promotion committee meeting on the 24th at 6:30. Instead of having a regular promotion committee meeting, we are going to be filling Easter eggs. And I've got the American Legion secured for that. So we'll have all of our Easter eggs, all of the stuff to go inside the eggs, and we would love anybody that wants to come out and fill up Easter eggs. It's really kind of a fun time. Besides that, I should have more of a financial report and all of that for you all in April. Right now, we are having our accreditation meeting with DHCD that's supposed to be scheduled on the 19th before our meetings that day. So hopefully all good news.
Thank you very much. Hey, on the place in name report, one of the things, I can't remember the gentleman's name.
Joe Jorgensen.
Mr. Joe.
Yeah.
He recommended that get pushed out to all the business owners in the area?
I haven't gotten it out to all of the businesses yet. I've gotten it out to everybody that gave me their email address that day. But I do need to get it out to all of the businesses.
Okay. The follow-up I had on, like, he said he was setting up individual meetings with a few business owners to go over their findings.
Yeah.
Have those been set up? And
I know that there's been a meeting set up with Hines. I'm not sure about the other ones,
okay.
so I will check into that.
That was a pretty cool feature that came from this grant, is that they kind of got custom service, right? Like,
yeah, and basically they were buildings that were not utilized at all, completely vacant or underutilized. So a
a couple of buildings, and they were all in the Main Street district. Came in, did an analysis on the building, that they can see what it would cost to rehab it, or what they could get for it if they want to sell it, or they could lease it for, to, you know, get it to where it could be leased for a purpose. And then the redevelopment strategy that we had identified some retail leakage that we have in the area that is a possible business that the area could support. It was a really good presentation.
Good, great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We were already in planning for Main Street Moments, so should be good.
Next on the agenda is IEDA update. IEDA chairperson, sorry.
Hello, I'm going to follow Chris's lead and sit right here. So we also met on March 2nd. In one of our agenda items, we updated our EBAG and VEZ applications. One of the things since I've been on the board that I've been proud of is we've had more of these submissions, and last year really demonstrated some weak areas for us from a clinical implementation perspective. A lot of times we receive applications from businesses and it's an incomplete application, meaning we spend several months waiting for the business owner to turn items into us so that Brad can draft an agreement, everything gets signed, and we have wet ink copies saved here at the town. So really the edits just encompass taking the information about what should be in an application, putting it right on the front, bold and underlined, and again, mentioning it within the application as well. So those should get put up on the website, and we also talked about when a new business comes in and applies for their business license, to give them a folder of information that includes applications for EBAG and VEZ. And so again, in order to apply for a VEZ, you have to be within a certain area of the town that you all helped collaborate with the county on to expand our zones for that here. So that's one agenda item. Second thing, we discussed our ongoing projects. We're all obviously very excited about the Clinch River Pavilion. I'm sure Liam will give you guys lots of updates when that gets to her turn. We're very pleased with how it looks. It's beautiful. Leah's going to get us some quotes on some signage that will go on the front that just says Clinch River Pavilion. The second thing that our agenda item was about how you all allocated funds for us. So we discussed how with the collaboration with Jordan Dillon, we were able to submit that letter of intent to apply for ARC Power. So again, that's something that we have to be invited to apply for. And so Jordan will help us learn more about that and get paperwork in if we're actually invited to apply. And that would be for the Riverside Drive District building. The second item is our plans moving forward with the Ramey lot. So one of the things that's still on the table is I have a meeting on Friday. Jordan has connected us to an architecture professor at Virginia Tech who may be able to do drawings for us. So this would be a first meeting where we talk more about the project, gauge his interest in the project. My dream scenario for that is that we would have drawings pro bono or very steeply discounted. He's very interested in helping rural communities like ours, and he teaches his students about giving back to rural communities like ours, which is great because Virginia Tech is a land-grant university. I attended a grants webinar today for Carillion Clinic because I attend what's called the Tazewell Health Collaborative. Carillion Clinic leads a quarterly meeting between lots of different healthcare services within our area. Clinch Valley attends. Anybody you can think of that's helping in the mental health or wellness space, we all gather once a quarter. And so we have a committee on chronic health disease prevention. And our Ramey lot, multi-purpose field, walking track with a bathroom, that vision really gained traction with this group. And so unfortunately though, the grant opportunity with Carillion is much more implementation, something that we would be a good candidate for probably next year after we have drawings and we've scoped out a budget, because I think that we could specifically apply for maybe $25,000 for Carillion to put in the track. Like that would be something that we look forward to, but just the way that their grant requires some very metrics-driven outcomes, we aren't there yet. It's not a planning opportunity. So good news is I still feel pretty confident that someone from Virginia Tech wants to meet with us and learn more. So that's good things. And then I think that's really the bulk of what we talked about. And then that was an hour and we talked about the subcommittee. So that's,
Pickleball courts?
if there's room, yeah. I don't know anything about space, but I think that we could have room to park, room for fields, room for track, room for pickleball. I think the big selling point here is having a bathroom facility so that it's a safe place for people of all ages to get out and walk and also have access to a bathroom, so.
In that, we're working on architectural drawings, designs. In your professional opinion, when should we start looking, like, do we get those drawings first and then go after engineering? What?
So in my experience that I've had before, we do what's called a PAR or PER, preliminary architecture or preliminary engineering. And so I thought that I understood this was engineering and architect.
I hope, like I want to have a meeting with this man and see how much we can get, like what type of options do we have. I think one of our committee members, Lacey D'Amato, is really interested in this project. You had mentioned to her about maybe Mr. Ribble could help with some information about if it needs to come up more because it's of the floodplain and stuff like that. Like, I would like to be conservative with the money you all have already allocated in the sense that if we can get as much as we can get from a professor at Virginia Tech, then, but if we don't.
Yeah. Did you say you have a meeting scheduled with
Yeah,
them?
on Friday.
This
3
Friday?
o'clock, yes.
Okay.
Are there already things we answered a little bit better on Friday?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
So is there already drawings and stuff that we have from other projects for that area?
The other project would have been where this is just field
Yeah.
versus.
A building, yeah, but you still got water mitigation and things, correct?
I think there
Floodplain
was,
don't have to have, the only time you have to do anything in floodplain, you have to elevate your buildings.
Cool.
Bottom floor.
Yeah.
Fields are open fields that can walk and go across it, you just have to clean up the habitat.
Yeah.
Structures you have to.
Well, just concerned like where if you move anything, of course, water's gonna go where water's gonna go. Just concerns of the neighborhoods that are there.
Yeah, that'd be something Rebel would have to look at.
Yeah.
Figure out on.
Yeah, no, I understand the building.
And Mr. Ribble's done a lot of pro bono work for Billy Wagner Park, so I think that would be something that if he's who we want to go to scope out what needs to be done, that's where I would see the allocated funds going to.
This may have nothing to do with that, but speaking of the river, so I have been asked to contact Army Corps of Engineer. I actually reached out to Carol Doss, who has presented to you all before. She's with the Tennessee Roundtable, Upper Tennessee. Thank you. Yeah, right. So she said that she is looking for some projects to have a river clean out.
Oh.
So we're in contact with her to see if we can get that scheduled.
That'd be awesome.
And we also maybe threw in the Clinch River Pavilion area at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. When she came in, we talked about that.
So,
Awesome. Great. Thank you everyone for that.
Can I make one comment that I forgot? The place name, that presentation, that was implemented through Friends of Southwest Virginia. So just thought you all should know that. It was an ARC grant, but Friends of Southwest Virginia were our main contact in getting all of that organized and worked through.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right, next we have a comprehensive plan review subcommittee update. Councilmember Klein.
so after the IEDA meeting, we rallied for about an hour, and we're currently working through the goals and the objectives and making sure that those align with the strategy that we can see that's implementable over the next 5 years for the comprehensive plan. Ms. Leanne had an update on VDOT, and I can't remember exactly what that was. We're in contact working on the transportation plan.
so we had a meeting with VDOT yesterday, and they kind of gave us some specific instructions. We have to look at their 6-year plan. We have to make sure that we're including the right things in their plan, and then we have to actually send it to them for their approval as well.
Okay.
So I sent an email that said, hey, Susan and I, if y'all are good, we'll take that portion and we'll handle that.
Perfect. So the transportation plan and future transportation planning is an important part of the comprehensive plan. We've got to step one that up. I am going to make a request, and Ms. Leanne, I may need your assistance with clarifying this. But we knew early on going in and looking at the comprehensive plan that one, it's severely outdated and it needs significant work. It's a huge document. At that time, at the onset, I said, hey, we're going to have to make a make or buy decision on whether or not we're going to contract out this work or we're going to build it internally. I think the scope of writing and developing the plans beyond our capabilities as a subcommittee, we want to be influential in making sure that the town has representation and our thumbprint on the goals and the objectives moving forward, because we're more apt and able to know the interests of our town, right? Versus a contractor to help out with the demographics update, to help us with the pretty drawings, all that sorts of stuff. So my request is that we, the council, allocate funding to contract this out because the project is beyond the scope of a subcommittee. And the previous one was done by Hill Studio, and they have not given a firm fixed price to
We're
what this
supposed
is.
to have word back from them yesterday, but we've not received anything yet.
I think there's multiple avenues, multiple contractors who could help us produce this document. But we're aiming to have this completed by September, implementation at the end of the year. And Hill Studio referenced July that they could have a prototype put together for us to approve. So I don't think that we're too late in all of this, but as Ms. Leanne's looking and figuring out who to utilize for this, I will ask for council support to fund this so we can have a proper document. It can be used over the next 5 years.
And something else, if we're thinking budget, right now, we're in the fiscal year 26. By the time this is finished and implemented, it'll be fiscal year 27. So there might be a way to say, we allocate some funds from this year and then some funds from next year to kind of cover the cost.
Do you think we should do that now, or should we wait till we get quotes back?
Yeah, we don't know what the price is going to be.
Okay.
We're going to send Daniel to negotiate.
All right.
That's all I've got. We're meeting, oh, by the way, we're meeting again next Tuesday. If anybody in the town wants to participate, next Wednesday, the 18th, correct? 18th, high noon, at the Happy Goat.
Correct.
For a lunch and to work on the plan a little bit more, the goals.
A free lunch.
If you're buying, be free for me.
There's more than three of us, we need to get our names.
Yeah.
You're saying the town?
To the community.
Yes.
I'm
just making sure.
Well,
Before Danny got excited about free lunch.
Yeah, I'm making it a point to say at every meeting, we do want town input on this.
All right. Thank you. All right, next we have unfinished business, and on the agenda is to appoint a council member to the Town Tazewell Recreation Committee. So last month we voted, over our last two meetings, we voted to initiate a recreation committee, and we appointed some nominees. And I've spoke to many of those nominees and have had some great feedback. And one seat that we left unfilled was the council member seat, and it's for you guys to vote, but my opinion of it was to have someone that is actively involved in rec sports. My initial thought was Zach, because Zach, is involved in the soccer league and, initiated the process of bringing that back to the town. He said he was uninterested, or
That's nice. I've got too many irons.
Yes, sorry. Over committed.
Thank you.
How about that? So my suggestion would be, with that being said, either Councilmember King or Councilmember Takish, if either of you all would like to jump on that one, Otherwise, I'll leave it up to you guys to discuss and be on with it.
I defer to the sports guy.
I'm general with both ends right now, so.
Okay. Well,
I would take it.
okay. I know you showed some hesitation last time.
Well, I mean, as long as I'm able, I'll take it.
Okay. But I'll open the floor for a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Councilmember Willis to the Recreation Committee.
Okay, we've got a motion.
A second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
If you need, like, something happens and you step down, then I'll be willing to be the alternative. And that goes for like meetings also, if you're not able to. Appreciate you doing it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, with that, any more discussion?
Do I know?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you, Councilmember Woods. Next, we have new business, mowing bid update, Andrew Regan.
So, at our budget work session, we discussed doing requests for quotes for mowing services. Bid 1 was for the Riverside Drive, White's Muffler to Boardwalk Self-Storage, the corner Professional Drive. Bid 2, mowing services, Fairground Road. Bid 3, changed just a little bit. It's Fincastle from the corner of Hardee's and Freedom Avenue to the 460 ramp. And then we have also put out requests for quotes for the Lincolnshire Dam and Lake. For the first 3, any one of you is available to bid. But for bid number 4, for the lake and the dam, we are going to hold a mandatory pre-bid meeting March the 16th at 2 o'clock at shelter number 1 at the Lincolnshire Park. It's the one closest to the lake. Bids will be accepted until Friday, March the 20th at 2 p.m.
Do they have to have open meeting?
What was the first one? What was the area?
The first one's Riverside Drive from White's Muffler to the corner of Professional Drive at Bulldog Self-Storage, where the new clinic is.
The reason for the pre-bid meeting is?
So they see the exact location of where and the kind of boundaries of what it would be.
Okay.
And we decide on that every 2 weeks?
I do believe that let's say every 2. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Any further discussion on that? All right, we'll move on. May cleanup month, Manager Regan.
So each year, council would vote to establish May as cleanup month in the town of Tazewell. We usually give out 5 free orange trash bags to residents, and we would allow 1 free pickup of brush. So if you all would like to continue to do so, we just need to have that motion so we can order the trash bags and get them ready.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second.
On street sweeper, we usually do that about March, April timeframe.
It will be here, they're going to pick it up March the 30th, we'll have it for 2 weeks.
I know it's been brought up, but trash is supposed to go into a trash can, correct?
So I do think the ordinance says that it needs to be placed in a can, a container.
Okay. What can we do? What can we do? Trash is just.
Ordinance says it has to be set out after 9 p.m. the night before pickup.
Okay.
That's the
Not always.
earliest.
That's the earliest you can set.
That's early, yeah.
Let's go back, let's finish this because we have a motion and a second, and we can discuss that right
Sorry.
after. No, we're good. I lose my train of thought.
Choo-choo.
All right, any other discussion on May cleanup month? All right. With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay,
Yeah.
back to trash can discussion.
Continued May Cleanup Month would be, there's a lot of trash in Tazewell. And the down in Tazewell, there's a lot of bears carried up, and there's trash everywhere, there's trash in trees, there's trash.
So one thing that we could do is, we're getting ready to send out a quarterly newsletter at the end of this month. We could include that to say, you know, what the ordinance is and what we would like to start seeing happen to enforce.
That'd be a great start.
In the language on that, because, I mean, the way that you enforce it is basically you would write a citation, is that correct?
It's code enforcement.
It's code enforcement. But basically what I'm getting at is, like, in that language that you're pushing out to the public, it's kind of like an if-then statement.
Right.
Like, if trash is not in a container, then citations will be issued. Here's the penalty. Sorry. I mean, we could say it in a better verbiage, but basically, you guys tell me if you think that's.
No,
I think you're right.
No, it's the issue of.
That way there's no surprise when there's
Well,
repercussions.
and if there's trash, like, and I get it, it's rough, like, I've picked up my trash many a time. You know, my neighbors will see me out there, I stop putting it out because the bear just takes the whole thing.
What about informational posts, promoting, maybe clean up, just.
Yes,
Absolutely,
blast it
we usually do that.
Yeah, blast it.
Hey, don't forget,
Yeah.
just an informational purpose.
That's absolutely.
But like trash that's been there for a long time, like up somebody's heel or whatever, like, is there any
We did
cleanup
it.
for that, or?
Would it be property maintenance?
Yeah, I send out nasty letters all the time. But most of the time, the renters, and they don't care, so I have to send Missy up there and threaten to take them to court. Like the greenhouse on Dogwood, that's the only thing that would work with them, is threaten to take them to court.
Yeah, Dogwood, every Wednesday, or when I leave on Thursday morning, there's trash that has been set out in bags the night before that's just strewn everywhere.
That house in the corner, we have to get them on two trash routes to get caught up.
The crows are bad enough, and like, I put mine out at 8 in the morning, and the crows find ways to get through, but, I mean, like you said, trash happens,
Well, there's
right?
I mean,
But-
and I get it, like, but like, a bag was on Dogwood and got hit.
Yeah,
There was trash
people
explosion
just
everywhere.
lay whole bags out, right?
Yeah, so.
But, yeah, just,
One thing I gotta ask is the dumpsters up there at
Stills Lane.
Stills Lane.
I seen pictures yesterday, they were awful.
Yes,
They're abused severely.
well, yeah, I mean, I'd rather see them take it to that location than I would see them throw it out on the streets.
Contractors wouldn't be using it.
Uh,
Contractors shouldn't be using it.
No, you gotta take it.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, but you got people that says, I just throw it on the side of the road. That's what happened. And I remember that, Jerry Woods made the statement that it's best to go ahead, you got one pile up there, take care of it, than you would go out of here and start picking up trash all over town. Because that's what they usually would do. And he's right on
Has
that.
been picking up trash. The bottom crew has been picking up trash.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the storms coming in, winds, and blowing trash around. I mean, that's another thing you gotta look at. But the only way you're gonna be able to write a ticket on somebody, you got concrete, say, yeah, he did it, or she did it. That's gonna be tough in court. I mean, I'm just saying, the wind and all that comes in town, what trash around, we pick it up. And I had to pick up trash in front of my house a little bit.
I think everybody
Yeah,
does
I mean,
their part,
it's-
but
yeah.
it's people that, when you see the same stacks of bags of trash that are not in containers with lids on them,
Right.
like the rules say, we just need to refresh people that those are the rules, and then we also have this in-town drop-off area.
Yeah, like I'm saying, the dumpsters, I hope somebody checks it each day, and then on the weekends, before the weekend comes up, dump the dumpsters for the weekend, that'd probably be all right, Monday to go pick it up.
From my understanding, what's happening is there are people bringing trailer loads of trash
Yeah,
bags.
that's a little too much.
Yes.
That's a little too much.
If I'm not mistaken, is there a 5-bag limit?
It's 5 bags, 5
Is there a
trash
camera
bags.
out there?
Now,
There's supposed to be, yes.
I see people
Okay,
bring up
well,
toys and stuff and put it on the side.
you gotta start
Fix it
enforcing
up.
some of this stuff.
The only way you're gonna do this is have somebody walk around.
Just have to sit check on it, so that's it.
What do they do? Take a loop, drop 5 bags, take a loop, come back, 5 exits. The last Main Street trash, right, set out collections like 3 days a week. Looks like the schedule varies, but aesthetically for our Main Street, I think it would be good if trash was picked up no later than 9 AM. Because what is occurring in some of those places is they set the trash out first thing in the morning and then sit there until about 3:30 in the afternoon. And I think it would just make your downtown look better and have it picked up early.
Okay, moving on. Town manager project update.
Can I interject one thing? I just
Yes, sir.
talked with Brad on the 5 bag thing. There's no code on that. It's just a policy of the town.
Right.
So there's really not any enforcement that the police can do.
Well, let's change that, let's.
Chris, isn't that correct? I don't know.
I don't know, you can't make up laws, you're dealing with real estate. If it's a state law, you can adopt it.
Executive order.
It's
I mean, there could be a violation of town code violation.
Bob Moran.
And it's a matter of, they have a limit.
That's
So
like
it's like that, it's not, yeah, it's not, obviously it's not in town code.
Yeah, we wasn't talking about him writing tickets or anything, but, you know, you had an employee there trying to enforce you, you want to fight you, then you get tickets.
That's definitely the way they're going to be able to do it.
Or handcuffs, whichever.
Aggravated assault and stuff.
All right, moving forward. Town manager project updates, wastewater treatment plant upgrade project.
So I know that we talk a lot about projects. I don't know if you all realize how many projects we have going on right now. It is 14.
It's a lot.
14 projects. So I just picked a small group of those and was going to update. And so next month I'll pick another group and I'll update. So the wastewater treatment plant upgrade project, it's a $19 million project. It's an 18-month project. Orders Construction has been down there. They have been great to work with. Don't know if you all have been down that way, but if you haven't, I encourage you to take a drive down Bisbee Road. They are currently working on putting in a Navy bridge to take their equipment over to actually begin the nitty-gritty work. And that's a temporary bridge. It will not be permanent, but if you haven't had a chance to go down that way, go out and look at it. It's moving right along, so good progress. The Clinch River Pavilion and Farmers Market. So Kara and Susan, myself, and Sydney Tatum. She is going to be doing the Riverwalk mural for us down there. Very impressed with her yesterday. That was a find with Kara. So Kara hooked us up with that, and what she has got planned is fantastic. So I'm sure you all have seen this massive pavilion. You know, I've stood on that slab before it was that, and it did not look that big, but that thing is massive. Massive. So kudos to Heritage Metal and all of the ones that worked on that. We now have water and sewer hookup ready to go. Gillespie Construction is going to be doing the restroom and prep kitchen. We had CNC Construction putting stairs on the very back so we could have access down to the Riverwalk from the back part of the slab. We have ordered tables, benches, a swing, trash cans, a dog station. We will have, in the corners, we will have hookups for food trucks. There's some discussion that I would like to hold at a later time regarding some ideas with food trucks down there. So, May 1st, that's our target date. We've got to save the date out. That's going to be the grand opening of the pavilion. Farmers Market will start May the 2nd.
May 2nd.
So, mountain biking project. Susan and I have been working on a...
Question.
Yes,
Are we taking that fence down?
yes.
No, it's gonna
Are we doing what? What was that?
Taking the fence down.
Oh,
So, for the moment, because I'm afraid we're gonna run out of time, the fence that's between us and Snappy's is gonna stay there for the moment. We're gonna get the front and the side of Baker Street. Because I'm afraid we're gonna run out of time. But that's,
To take the fence down?
and replace.
Dang, you take that with your truck.
So, yeah, we can take it down, it's the replacing.
Right.
It's gonna
So
really.
are we going back with the chain link or what?
Well, if budget allows, we have something very nice planned for the front of it. And then the side of it may be chain link. But the front of it would be something more like a stone wall with maybe some planter boxes inside of it.
something I just thought about that might be, I'm not sure who to bring up, just it popped in my head, so something we might want to think about. I don't know, I know we have a hotspot on Main Street, right, a Wi-Fi hotspot. It'd be nice with the North Tazewell revitalization setup going on over there, that if we could, I don't know who we reach out to for that, if that's a possibility. If we can see if there could be a hotspot within, over that way. I think that would be,
I don't think it has to be done by May 1st. Tell them about, Dave Riverwalk. Between the ADA compliant.
Yes, so the Riverwalk, we had received a $15,000 grant from Cumberland Forestry. That will be contributed to the actual Riverwalk. Some of the supplies that's gonna go there, mural, it's a matching grant. So what we're planning to do is kind of snake the Riverwalk with the river. That will be ADA compliant. We'll have some benches and tables and a swing down there. So very, very excited about that, and it's a fun project.
It is
So
very fun.
it's been very fun. And I think it's gonna really gain you a lot with your North Tazewell residents. And that area has needed something for quite a while. So, any other questions? Awesome. Mountain biking, Susan and I have been working on a trail accelerator grant. It's due on Friday. I'm waiting on a letter of support from one person. I should have it tomorrow. Other than that, that grant is ready to go. So, email them. You all should have received a copy of the letter for a proposal for an easement on the property. So that should have went out. You should have got that. EMS renovations. So we have been in contact with Robert Hilt with USDA Rural Development. There was a little bit of miscommunication, misunderstanding. However, we have to do some environmental work. We have got that in place. It is being worked on, and we are waiting on that to be returned to us. That's the step we have to go to before we are able to do anything else up there. The Ramey's lot, Kara kind of said what we were doing with the soccer field, the walking track, and possible pickleball. So we'll know a little bit more after Friday. Was there?
Move pickleball courts.
I'm trying.
We're going to try for pickleball.
I haven't failed yet. Have a little faith.
yeah, we do have pickleball courts.
At
At
Warhawk Park.
Warhawk Park, yes.
So,
Is the net up?
The net is not up and it's not striped yet, but
So it's
it's
striped? No.
coming.
I think we'll get that one done before we get it out in the rain line.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
One other question. The email Zach sent about the
Easement opportunity.
opportunity.
Yes.
So Virginia Outdoor Trust, I think. There's a grant opportunity, basically it assists localities that are trying to implement an easement with hard dollars to go towards getting the deal done, to have an easement. And that's, I fired that out this morning, so hopefully, maybe there's something there, definitely worth inspecting.
For sure.
One thing I got, so this EMS renovation,
Yes.
surely we're not gonna spend that money on that piece of property.
So I have tried reaching out to other property owners and I've not really had any success.
Can't do it. $866,000 on that piece of property.
That's what the
Then you
PAR says.
bulldoze it down and start back. You would be better off to tear that down to the ground and start back.
But then we cost that out and we work, right?
So, we do have a PAR to completely rebuild, and it was in the millions.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing with the pavilion, you know, when we started, it was gonna cost. Yeah, and look at where we are now.
Right.
And we're getting a great facility. You know, do it again.
So when these bids come in, like, we actually had a bid meeting, and there was there nine different contractor companies come? And so, I mean, we just have a piece of paper that engineers have designed for us, but when those bids come in, maybe they're not what that piece of paper says.
Look, we're talking about the trash placement right now. We're gonna build a $1 million building beside a place we can't even keep trash under control.
But that's what she's saying. She's saying it might be projected at 800, but it might come in at 250, just like the pavilion did. We've not got to
I
that
thought
point.
you already had the bids.
No.
No,
They had a bid meeting.
I've got the preliminary engineering report from the engineers. That's where we got our number from, the 866.
The 9 people came to a pre-bid meeting.
Yes.
That they had to place the bid.
So there's plenty of interest there, but rural development put the brakes on that and said, no, you haven't completed this step yet, you have to do this before you go there. So we had to hold.
So hypothetically, we get a bid and say they come in at $1.2 million.
Yes.
What'd you say?
We can't do that, we don't have the funding for that.
The minute.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward.
I just want to try to reiterate a few things, make sure we're clear. We earmarked 350,000 for this,
Yes.
right? We have congressional funding
354.
for 354 as well. So if the bid comes in at 350, there's nothing out of our pocket.
Bless you.
That's what I was gonna say, I think it's a matching grant.
Matching, okay,
Yeah.
so it's half of that, right? Like the first half of the first 700,000
Correct.
is covered. So if we can keep it under 700,000, we just got on the hook for half of it.
Our police department has a fantastic place now, the fire department's got a nice place, we owe it to our EMS to provide them with.
I'm not saying we don't owe it to them, I'm just not saying it should be in a residential community that has bad vision both ways. I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's bring it up. I mean, there's properties for sale. That moving cell right there beside Old Virginia Pharmacy, that would be a great spot. And the Perry's on it, I hear it's for sale, you know, you approach it.
Didn't we cost that out too?
So I did approach them, and at the time, it was not for sale. However, there are bays behind that building, but they're not actually for vehicles, they're storage.
I own the whole piece of property, and I was told the whole piece of property is for sale.
Right, but now you're gonna have to build bays.
Bays.
Yeah.
Ambulances?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do on Steele's Lane?
We're building 2 more.
That whole building, I think, totally.
So you remodeling Steele's Lane again? I mean, adding on up there? I thought we were gonna go ahead and find another location for the rescue squad.
That's what he's saying.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. If, I'm agreeing with Danny in reference to the building right across from McPain's car lot.
All right, so, yeah, we'll talk about it at the next meeting. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm with you, Dave.
I agree with y'all too. I go by that every day, and it's tight right now. Like, out in the street.
And Max got his place for sale.
I have tried to contact him, and he has not reached back out to me. I've left messages.
I haven't called it.
And one other thing, EMS would prefer to stay in that area, right?
We don't really have a preference, we just already own the land, we already own the building, and we know what modifications we need to make. We've already got places for our trucks to expand, we really have to add 2 more bays.
to go buy something somewhere else, you're buying a whole new set of problems. Like the place across from McCain's has only one bay, and they have a lot of electrical problems in that building. It used to be Tazewell County, used to be stationed there. And I spoke with many people that have been in and out of that building and have lived in that building, pretty much working 24 shifts, and it has many problems.
But I wouldn't put you in that building, I'm gonna tear it down and build you something new, something you can be proud of.
But something that we need for that size is gonna cost us $1 million. I mean, we are such a big place now, we have to, standard, we have to have 6 bunk rooms. We need so many offices, we need at least at the very minimum 3 concrete bays with heat and cooling. I mean, there's certain standards we have to meet for state accreditation or state inspection that I think when tearing down and rebuilding this, we're not going to be able to afford that with what money we have. We have a concrete pad now, you know, that we can, I don't know, I mean, just my opinion.
Right.
So you want to stay where you're at?
I've just been battling the money issue and trying to stretch the dollar we have, you know, we're at the land, you know, and we can just remodel and add on to what we have. We had those non-contractors come out, and they said we could do it half the price of what you're, you know, they proposed. I'm just looking at what, you know, so I mean,
What about the Amish? They get up there.
Okay, all right, let's move on to items for auction. Manager Reed.
Okay, in your packet, you will see a few items. So each year, United Realty, has a surplus auction. The first item we have is a 2016 Massey Ferguson tractor. This is a tractor that we use to clear snow from sidewalks, and it has bitten up. It's not usable anymore. I think it has to have a new engine, and the cost to replace the engine is more than what the tractor would be worth. The next item up is a 2007 John Deere backhoe. It needs a new engine. It's about $20,000 and it's 19 years old. The 2006 International dump truck, it has to have work and it's about $30,000 and it's 20 years old. I just don't see investing that into such an old piece of equipment when you might put something in it today and tomorrow something else go out. So, those are the 3 pieces of equipment that we have asking for your approval to send to auction.
On the dump truck, and this is maybe an ignorant, but before you send it to auction, like, can you take the bed? Can you keep the bed? Can you salvage the bed? Is that silly?
If we had another one that it would work with, it's sitting at Teddy Arrington's right now. Once they told us the price tag, I said, hold on.
Yeah, when things go to auction, they're basically giving away. Anyway, I think I saw a school bus last year go for like $100, you know? So I was just seeing if that was an option, but. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Approve what?
To approve the items for auction. For auction. All right. No discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right. Next, we have miscellaneous, and I believe we have some budget amendments to talk about.
No, I think next month perhaps you're moving forward with pushing this budget amendments.
I thought we were talking about moving
Allocate funds.
the budget funds from the interest over, but we do have in our budget work session before this public meeting, or that was a public meeting also, but before this meeting, we discussed that we have money in an interest account that was above and beyond what we budgeted for, and we were going to move some to the donation account. Not the donation.
What I've got down here is allocate funds for vehicle replacement.
For the vehicle, yes. I had budget amendments, is all I had on mine, sorry.
It's good.
Just using the FY '26 money.
So we discussed a couple different avenues. We discussed using some of the funds from our interest line item. So this was interest that's from our interest earning bank accounts, LGIPs. We discussed an option of using some funds from our water reserve. And then we discussed using funds from our revenue recovery money.
Now, I had a discussion with Jessica, and we have a budget amendment pending for that interest, not pending, that we need to work up, right? So that the interest account, some of that money is already accounted for from that interest account. We just have-
25,000 of it, that was supposed to be for the Wagner project that has been paid, has not been moved out of that interest. So that 65,000 that they saw is not a true 65,000 availability because it hasn't been amended and moved over yet.
Thank you for that.
And then the,
So essentially, I guess the motion that we're asking for is to make a series of budget amendments that will be approved by council next month to allocate money for vehicles for the public works department. Does that work?
I think that was the,
Okay, that's my motion. Through budget amendments that we allocate funding to procure vehicles for a public works department.
okay, I'll take that motion. We've got a motion, do we have a second? To move
Do we
money
need to include LGIP too? Or is it only going to be found within budget?
Yeah, can I ask for just a little bit of clarification, just for that?
So, okay, well, based on our discussion from our work session, what I took away from it was that we're going to give you the managerial authority to determine which sources are the best to pull from in order to fund the purchase of 4 trucks and a dump truck. So rather than tying your hands on where that comes from and saying it specifically has to be from the LGIP, we give you the managerial authority to split that as needed. It's in the best interest of the town, so that we can procure the vehicles.
Okay. So if that is voted upon now, or we're going to do budget amendment next month and then approve it?
Are you,
I'm asking
for
if it's
mission
approved.
readiness, do we need the authorization now?
Yes.
Okay. So let's adjust that to, I mean, what do you need? What do you need to be able to?
We need like an exact amount or like an estimate or like what do we,
Like 3,000?
like,
We're going with the new, aren't we?
we're trying to free up, what amount, I guess, is that?
Is this on new or used or?
So what I had asked, I had some vehicles we had looked up. I had asked for 200.
But we want
And
to
then
get.
there was discussion held, said, hey, we would rather have new with warranty. But that is,
So how high do we want to go?
How did we go new, that way we'll have coverage.
what do you think, 300? I think 300 probably would.
Okay.
How about anything over 3, like, I don't know, would that be something like anything over?
Re-attack at 300?
No? Well, what do you think, Daniel?
No. Can we get some prices?
yes.
So,
New, used,
No.
that's what I want.
We
Can
can
we
get
just slow down?
prices, absolutely.
Get some prices.
Mhm.
And then have budget amendments prepared for next month?
So our 4 trucks down right now.
yeah.
They're not on the road.
I understand that, but we won't start mowing and stuff till the end of the month. So we'll have time, and these trucks should be on their lots. So, you know, the turnover time to get them to us shouldn't be that bad. And if you need us to come back in, we will. I will.
Is this something we could do an email vote, and I will make sure that you are aware?
Yes.
Yes.
Could we do an email vote After I get some quotes and trucks,
Yes.
I'll email everything out to you all and ask
Yeah.
for this amount and approval.
If we get it fast.
In the meantime, you can
But you know that you're gonna spend upwards to $200,000.
But we're saying 300. Now, 200, 300 is a big difference.
I asked for 200.
You asked for 200.
That was for you.
They're saying 300, I'm not going 300. No.
yeah, we're talking about you now, though.
So you do have a motion
Okay.
on the floor, although we were amending it.
Yeah, I'll amend my motion. We're going to receive bids in an email, and we'll make an email vote and ratify it at the next meeting. So I basically just withdraw my motion.
Okay, we're good with that, right? That's procedurally correct, doing that, just withdrawing.
Never had a second.
Yeah.
Never had a second.
Okay,
Never had a second.
I will gather quotes, I will send them to you all, and I will send out a text to let you know.
All right, so we had that, and I apologize for that. We also had, from the discussion we had on here during miscellaneous, to talk about paying the IEDA directors.
Yes, so, like we just mentioned, we're coming out of budget work session, and one of the items that brought up for a couple of years is that within our town charter code, within our town rules, we've got the ability to pay the IDA a sum of $50 for each meeting. We have not done that over the years. My recommendation is that we add that in our budget for fiscal year 26, 27.
Again, we bring it back to a little bit higher, the same as the,
That's not my recommendation.
yeah, that'd be, what?
That would have to be amended in the charter,
That's
or in the code. Charter.
Charter.
And that would have to go before the General Assembly, so that would be probably too huge in there right now.
So we already have the authorization within the charter to do this. We've not done it. My recommendation is that to add it to the next budget year.
I'll second.
Well, he didn't officially, are you
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Okay. So you made a motion,
I'm missing tonight.
Let's go with
and
it.
Danny seconded it. So we got a motion to pay them $50 per meeting. Is it per meeting, per representation?
No, months. Yeah, it's monthly. In line with our town charter, yeah.
Town charter.
Whoa, what now? The IDA is not the charter, guys, that's the town code. Planning commission is in the charter.
Right. In our town code, we have the authorization to pay the IEDA $50 per meeting.
Up to, that's right.
Yes, my motion is to pay the IEDA $50 per meeting and implement this in our next fiscal year. Danny motion the second, then we're off to the vote. Mr. Lewis.
I don't want to cram. It's right next to the town, it's not the charter.
Right. Okay.
I'll make a motion to do this.
We're still working on this right now.
That's
All
right.
right, so I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Oh, God.
All those in favor, all those opposed say nay. Sorry, it's been a long meeting.
Yeah, it's a long meeting.
All right, motion carries.
So there was two people not to vote. And the reason we did not vote is my father-in-law and her husband are on the IDA. We just wanted to make that known.
Okay.
All right. With that, we have miscellaneous public comment. None.
I do have a question. I didn't sign up, but I do have a question.
Yes,
What about the historic review board people? We serve too. I'm just kidding. I couldn't resist.
It's not in the code.
It's been a long night, but I couldn't resist.
Say yes.
I have a question.
Yeah, ma'am.
Is there an ordinance that requires business dumpsters to have lids?
I don't know.
That's,
Not that I'm aware of.
I was going to ask, due to the rare activity in your area, you probably.
City code, yes. That's
Well,
part town code.
the dumpster at the daycare does not have a lid, and it is not one that's provided by me.
And if anyone wants to take a walk along that section. Protected river.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's rough. I've
Where's
seen
this
it.
at?
Your daycare?
Yes.
Or Carpenter.
Who's dumpster?
The owner provides that dumpster.
There's a little here.
And it does not have a lid, and the bears and the raccoons, the amount of trash that is on that section of the clinch is inexcusable. It really is. It's bad. I mean, I clean up as much as I can clean up.
Who owns that property, man?
Mine.
I take care of it.
Yeah, I don't mean to be mean, but,
No,
I mean, the amount of garbage that's over that bank is bad.
And that was the area that I was talking about, the river.
I'm just trying to get through
And it's covered in poison ivy, so I can only go so far.
We can reach out to Mike.
So,
I make a motion.
all right.
Well, there's not a good one. There's no
With that, we have council member comments. None, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion, second. Got a second, any discussion? None, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, say aye.